use the Yeti. Okay. Don't know what that was about. Don't know. Now we gotta see if the audio makes it to the thingamajigger. To the stream. No idea why it did that though. Alright. Now I can mute myself on the stream. Well, mute my stream. And I'll get up started. Love thyself, Horatio. Hello. It is you, Abby. Joe previously said that he might be late to this stream because of dinner time, and that it evens out since he won last time. So, there we go. There's Horatio. How are you, Abby? I'm tired. I just want to point out once again, there's a voice volume and no voices. It's very rude. It's very rude. Wait, no, not start. Escape. Load. Yes. There we go. Dinner for weaklings. He also agrees from his limited interaction with you that you are in fact much angrier than I am, so there's also that. But now we can get back. Oh, I am covering up. Oh, my green screen. One moment. Ta-da! It works so well. Because of the light, you can still see, like, some shadow on it, but still much better. Oh, wait. No, that's not even shadow. That's actually literally as part of the game. Cool, cool. Grunt and Jack. Good additions to the team. Alright. Speaking of the team, let's start romancing Gray Horatio. Over the next few days, I settle into a routine, marked by classes, mundane and strange alike. As much as possible, I do my own thing. I do attend classes and the extracurricular activities, up to a point. I try to keep a low profile and make sure no one notices me. For that, I use the trick Darien F-19 showed me with the holo screen. It works, I think. Nonetheless, it is deeply stressful. I'm not sure how much longer I will be able to fake my way through the day until the moment I can take off the mask and be myself. That is kind of neat. Green screens are really cool, and I really like how easy that is to set up. Just like... Green Horatio. Master Sergeant Exorist B-12 and the instructor clone I've learned was called Third-Rate Chamberlain Megarzius Turgis F-07. Join Master Eternius P-02 to lead specific classes. It's too many names. From our accelerated program, our primary purpose became increasingly clear. We need to pass the inspection ceremony from Horatio Prime with flying colors, and at any cost. Learning how to actually perform at this Isanders Academy? Well, maybe later. We learned that a big rehearsal is planned for the end of the week. My classmates seem excited. Personally, I don't care. I'm exhausted with the pretending. One way or another, things will happen to me, and I'll do my best to survive them. And most importantly, remember, do not mess this up. Do not screw this up, cadets. What? Darien Knights, whatever. We're rebels. We hate ourselves. By ourselves, we mean all the Horatio. Alright, oops, I didn't even look at what that... what was that line before that? The ceremony rehearsal is taking place today on the concourse. My classmates and I are arrayed in two lines facing one another. The excitement is palpable for this part, as we are apparently going to perform the Imperial Bass Dance, a courtly dance that was extremely popular a few centuries ago. This explains why we've had absolutely no dance classes so far. Us newly decanted clones and our instructors alike know the dance very well. Normally. I would say that my memory of it is foggy, but of course I have absolutely no recollection of this dance or anything ever. The only things I know about dancing in the Horatio Empire are things I learned while browsing on my holoscreen. First, that there are dozens of dances that have come and gone in favor throughout the centuries. Second, that dancing is sometimes seen as a conduit for social advancement, as it is a chance to mingle with the powerful. It has apparently been used as a plot point in countless stories and dramas, to the point where it is considered a well-worn cliché. This cliché, though, most certainly contains a kernel of truth. We have all been paired up randomly with one another, some of us having the honor of dancing alongside our instructors. I note that Eternus P02 is partnered with Extras B12. Are you afraid of something, Eternus P02? I return my own dance companion. Okay, my own dance companion is not anyone I've ever actually talked to. Barring the disappointed grunt when our respective names were drawn. I've already forgotten his. Attention, cadets! Every me on your marks. He presses a couple keys on his holopad. And music. The dance is not the worst they could have picked. In bass dance, the leading couple performs the moves first, then the other couples replicate. This leaves me a couple of beats to try to process what I'm seeing and mirror their movements. I'm going to need all the help I can get. Well, that was a big yawn. They start a step forward and a deep bow with an arm extension. I can do that. I nod to my partner. He grudgingly looks back. Don't be like that, buddy. We're in this together. Step forward and a deep bow. Put my right foot forward, weight on it, bend at the waist while looking at my partner's feet. So far, so good. Eternus and Extras B12 have straightened back up and are now taking a side step to the left and back without moving the right foot. Oh god, this is going to be... They then step back with their left foot. Come back, still without moving the right foot. Wait. Do these say anything different? Oh. Yeah. We're going to do a step to my left. I slid my foot to the left in a posture that is reminiscent of what I like to call the Exorcist B12 power stance, and back. And then I step backwards, shifting my weight equally among both feet, and come back. I am slightly off tempo, but I don't think anyone has noticed. The leading couple starts a series of small steps towards one another. After 5, they stop, sidestep to the right, then come back, then step backwards, come back again, and then deep bow with an arm flourish. It's the most complex step yet. It's 5 small steps forward, steps to the right and back, a step back and bow. Whew. I take the 5 cautious steps forward, focusing on my feet. A step to the right, my foot slides a bit on the polished floor, but I recover gracefully with my own kind of arm flourish. I step back just a little too fast, correcting my course in a lunge that brings me too close to my dance partner. I take a deep bow and lose balance halfway through, headbutting him right in his own bow and sending us sprawling on the floor. Well, that went well. He seems absolutely furious. You moron! Can't you watch your step? The 2 lines of dancers stop. Every me is staring at us. This is bad. What kind of subpar batch do you come from that you can't even follow along? Look! The music stops. This is very bad. Exorcist B12 pushes his way through us. What happened here, cadets? Explain yourself. My classmate wastes no time throwing me under the bus. I start yammering something about having slipped on the slick floor when I notice Eternus P02 has joined the circle of onlookers. I just said the best course of action is to be quiet now. Exorcist B12 summarizes the situation for the headmaster. It seems first level initiate Megirus Placeholdus F12 fell onto the other cadet. Eternus turns towards us. Is this bassa dance too difficult for you, initiates? My classmate breathes into protest, but a gesture from the headmaster stops him in his tracks. Not one more word. He raises his voice to address the crowd. The ceremony rehearsal is cancelled. You can all thank Initiate Placeholders F21 for this initiative. You can go back to your quarters now. There's audible gasps and murmurs. Attornus P02 turns back to me. Initiate, come with us. He moves to leave. Extras B12 in tow. Yes, sir. I get up and follow, a few steps behind the pair. I have a bad feeling about this. We make our way through quiet hallways, with neither of them speaking. We reach an area I have never set foot in. The station is quiet as always, but here, under these circumstances, it has a certain oppressive feeling. As we turn the corner, Attornus P02 throws me a sidelong glance that sends shivers down my spine. The headmaster steps through an otherwise unremarkable door. Axis B12 stops, waits for me to enter, and the door closes silently behind him. Despite my precarious situation, I can't help but stare at the opulence of this room. This is everything I've seen in my series, and more. The view is breathtaking. Attornus is looking out the window, his back to us. After a few moments, he turns around and breaks the silence. Initiate placeholders. It is bad when a newly decanted clone catches my attention. Do you know why? I'm going to stay silent this time. I decided it would be best to keep quiet. The defining trait every me have here in common, and that we value above all else, is ambition. We want to get places, gain power. Sometimes, well, most times, we seize it from the cold, dead hands of the brother who held it before us. We want to be seen in a prime light, and to operate in the shadows whenever we need to do more unsightly actions. The worst that could happen to anyone the worst that could happen is for someone else to catch us in a situation of weakness. Unfortunately for me, my ability to produce an awe-inspiring batch of cadets that can pass muster is currently in jeopardy. Your antics today have left me in a precarious position. One of my cadets not meeting our standards would be a delay in our esteemed Emperor's plans, a delay I would be responsible for. Might be a lot easier for me to just get rid of you, pretend you were never here in the first place. We are, however, as you no doubt have noticed, rather severely short-staffed on board. I was loath to reveal the extent of the situation to the idiots overseeing the cloning facilities in the system for reasons you can imagine. Therefore, until I have discreetly replenished our complement of station personnel, I would rather not have to get rid of anyone, whether they happen to displease me or not. I have two options when it comes to what will happen to you. The first is easiest. Assign you on a special mission and send you out to investigate the disappearance of our patrol. With some luck, you might never come back. And if you do, we will have learned valuable information. In any case, you are out of the way. The second option only exists because we have invested time and resources in you, and there's a tiny chance you might turn out all right given the proper training. A second chance, if you will, to prove you can perform like any of your brothers. At the same time, I would hate to extend this offer to you if you were not ready to step up. Do you understand? In your defense, I must say, your decisions in the hollow training room allowed your cadet crew to fill out the parameters of the mission, even if these decisions went against current doctrine. Initiative is generally frowned upon, but in your case it may prove a saving grace. Exis B12 is particularly keen on keeping you on for some reason. The choice, ultimately, is yours. Are you ready to put in the effort, or is this all proving too much for you? I'm amazed I managed to not say anything, snarky or otherwise, during this... I'm amazed I managed to not say anything, snarky or otherwise, during this entire monologue. Huh. What to pick? If we're going for Gray Boy, I think we have to go on the special mission. Special mission it is, sir, then. I'm tired of this song and dance. This is probably for the best. If you cannot follow the music, march to the beat of your own drum. See how that goes for you. We walk from the nice part of the station to the next part of the station that is less nice. To the part that is supposedly the worst, but actually looks fairly similar. As it is with locations, so it is with Horatios, I guess. They all look the same on the outside, yet for reasons of social stratification, they are placed in a hierarchy based on incomprehensible reasoning. Hey, Turgis F07. Yes. Why, for reasons of social stratification, do we place things in a hierarchy based on our own incomprehensible reasoning? Ha! I'd say the reasonings are clearer than your word choice. Don't put me down. I'm extending Horatio elegance to my vocabulary. By the way, what exactly is a Chamberlain? And is that a promotion from junior lab technician? Let me put it this way. The only thing lower than junior lab technician is the floor designed to support their weight. Here's your new room. Don't be surprised. Why? It's just like your last one, but placed lower in the hierarchy based on incomprehensible reasoning. I like Turgis. I laugh. I like the guy. Settle in, then come find me if you get bored. We're doing Chamberlain-y things around the concourse. So this is the bad part of town? Wonder how bad it is. Maybe there are rats. Maybe the food is awful. Wait! Maybe the rats are the food. Though, to be honest, that's more or less how it tasted in the better parts of the town anyway. There is still the ever-present hum of air and water pipes, but coarser and louder, less refined. Maybe the bad part of town is where the aging public services go to die in peace. It could be worse. I could be with Exorcist B12, nodding my head eagerly at propaganda and deeply honestly believing everything that Eternus P02 says. Anyway, whatever being a good Horatio is about, I'm failing at it. I thought it'd be easy enough to exploit the fact that everyone acts the same and expects others to follow suit, but for some reason, I'm sticking out like a sore thumb. I found my new room, which basically makes me miss my old one. No more charm, but even louder. I move in and make myself at home, which takes less time to do than it does to read about it. I decide not to risk death by boredom. I check my holopad. The options seem to be a virtual tour that shows where Horatio himself trod the last time he visited. Either I do that or go look up one of my pals. Let's see what Darren F19 is going for. Apparently I'm a friend to Darren F19 because my holopad not only shows me where he is, but how to get there. I never would have made it without a map. It starts here where I sneak through the maintenance hatch at a specific time to move to the next point. And I only take a few steps here before I have to turn and go into a storage room, then out a door in the back that leads me to another place. And here I am. This hallway looks familiar, but in the way that everyone and everything looks like everyone and everything else. However, it is in such a sorry state that I'm absolutely sure I never set foot here. Except here, for the first time. There are beings, in the room that are definitely not clones. Silence, please. Do what he says. Thank you, Rank. We are here today together, assembled by a common cause. Are we joining the revolution? Took a twist I wasn't expecting. We live under a regime dedicated to uniformity and repression. We cannot choose what we do or where to do it. We have talked about this long enough. We have endured long enough. Yeah, we're starting a revolution. The room mumbles in agreement. I start looking for cameras. No, not for long enough. For too long. But the days of this regime are numbered. We must take our first steps towards change, towards freedom, towards a community of sentients who seek their own paths, make their own choices. The only question is when change comes. Will you be ready? Will you take up the struggle in whatever form it comes? Will you fight for a better future? The room is filled with clapping hands and flapping lips. A lot of agreements. A lot of murmuring. Darian is basking in the glow of his fiery oration. Everyone else looking like they just want things to move. Darian waves me over to speak privately. So, placeholders, are you in? What, in trouble? Probably. Stop that. In sync with the movement. Are you with us? We could use you. Before I can answer, he continues. Just meet me in 10 at the hangar. Turgis F-07 and I have been asked to do a routine patrol. He looks absolutely delighted. And that's going to be our ticket to revolution. You have to join us. Look around and think about what your other options are. In fact, that is more convincing than anything he has said during the speech. Okay, I'm on it. We'll start there, see where it goes. I'll see you in the hangar then. I hesitantly set about finding the aforementioned hangar. And I figure the place where you park battle cruisers should be enormous and easy to find, but I didn't take refined Horatio sensibilities into account. Ships require fuel, cleaning, and maintenance, and they're noisy and smell bad. Ergo, you put them on the underside of the station where nobody has to put up with their more upsetting characteristics. I finally find it, though, and it is awesome. It's so enormous that it has its own wind patterns, so full of ships that it definitely has its own smell. There's a metallic tang on the back of my tongue as I breathe the air. It also smells of ozone and oil, as well as that unique tainted blueberry odor of scorched adamantine. And it's full of ships, extraordinary ships. I've seen their likeness on the serials, on extras insignia, and on propaganda material. But to see them with my own eyes, wow. A full kilometer of ships is a lot of ships. I told you, a special crew. Hey, you two, about time. There's a job we have to do. Let me introduce you to the others. This is Rank, who can navigate and pilot. Hi-hos, let's go for a ride. Wait, let me give him a good voice. 1 second. Hi, Hoss, let's go for a ride. And this is Tora, who's a specialist in weapons. I like to think of myself as a professional who solves problems through the precision application of kinetic energy. This is so cool. Are we ready? All set. We just need to get our ship. Why is it special? It's made to go through asteroid fields undetected. Sort of. Sort of? Well, it's uncomfortably small, it has thick armor, and is really slow. It's this one. You're sure? Darren double-checks his holopad. Yep. HMS Narcissus. Same registration numbers. I look at it. Sleek golden, sectioned like a glorious thing of dust-enhanced fishbone and ornate Horatian scrollwork. I begin to understand some of Exorus's obsession with space battles. There. Darren types in a code in the data pad. I hear a transmit ping, and one of the sections of this beautiful craft lifts up. Something falls out of it. Refuse, I guess, or maybe a chunk of asteroid to be processed. It is round, brown, and ugly, more reminiscent of what I had to deal with back when I was cleaning toilets than something from a glorious starship. Oops. Darren and Turgis run over to it excitedly. I heard the transmit noise again, and this part of the brown excretion opens up. Light comes from the inside. The two of them point excitedly. Wait, we're supposed to be flying that thing? What? Do you think they gave us a Barrow-class ship? Ha! You guys are braver than I thought, or maybe less sane. They run over and enter the space turret excitedly. Oh, okay. I can climb in with a bit less enthusiasm. Rank, in the pilot chair, smells of swamp, and Tora, off to the side in some cubicle, smells of cleaning products. It's going to be a long voyage. I think this engages the departure autopilot. The ship shifts violently left. Inertia keeps me violently in place, and a chair takes the weight of my stunned body. Also violently. When I recover and look up, I am among the stars. Facts and education do not prepare your brain for the immensity of space. Once you leave the comfortable glow of the station lights behind, it is nothing but infinite stars. Everything feels insignificant against the endless backdrop, and it only gets worse if you stop and think of the enormous power and size of a star. Then you start to absorb how tiny they all look, how many there are, and how far away they must be. Truly, it requires a Horatian ego to maintain one's sanity. I guess all of us are memorized because our ship runs into something, and we all react differently. Darian activates our one tiny weapon, Turgis turns on the shields, which deactivates the weapon, and that's a challenging decision. I'm going to let this catch up for you. Do I stop to see what's going on or fall out of my chair? Which is more attractive to Gray Horatio? Let's fall out of my chair. Lying on the floor, I have an excellent view up through the skylight, which I did not realize we had. A large piece of rock tumbles by, turning slowly and lazily, looking about as active and dangerous as a fat kitten in mid-nap, but with much more inertia. Asteroids! Look, we don't have an arcade system on this. Right, what I mean is that we're in an asteroid field. That's what hits the ship. Huh? What? Darren starts fumbling with the various controls, as if he's looking for a large button labeled, "Make the asteroids go away." Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. The falling out of the chair fits better. He finally finds a hollow projection of the ship in an area of space around it. It's better to look at the hollow than out the view screens. If you look out the windscreen, you can die of terminal insignificance. So where are we headed? They both turn to look at me, then look at each other. We're going to figure that out. Can you, check the hold for snacks? Yeah, something to eat? Yeah, maybe, guns too? Yeah, something to shoot. I look from one to the other, but they look exactly like I do when I'm keeping a straight blank face. Damn, these two similar DNA structures. Sometimes it's very hard to see who's plotting what. Fine. I head away from the view screen and down to where things are dark and scary. I hear them murmur to each other as I descend, so I murmur to myself about them for revenge. I like me. I have terrible images of what a hold might be. Infinite dark space full of rats and dust. Strange things breathing in dark corners. A general sense of disuse and desperation. In reality, after 5 careful steps, I hit the back of the hold because the ship is about the size of a flight-capable grain of rice. I find the switch and the place lights up showing me a bunch of empty racks. The only thing of interest is a pile of Horatio propaganda posters, another pile that have been slightly altered with childish graffiti. Be gorgeous becomes me gorgon. Seek beauty becomes slack beauty. Or slack booty. Seriously? This is how you start a revolution? The only other thing of interest is the intercom, which isn't working perfectly because when I switch to tell them the hold is empty, it lets me hear their conversation. Must be with fire. There goes Darren again. We don't need to kill everyone. How else can we clean this cesspool? Lance this boil. Darren sounds passionate. Too passionate. There's a pause in conversation. You've been practicing, haven't you? Turgis's voice is dry, amused. Yeah. Too much? A bit. Anyway, what are you going to gain trying to change the way this entire empire works? So what if you and your buddies take over the station? What in the name of all that is gorgeous? You're not going to defeat the fleet they send. Why die fighting? Nothing will change. What do you suggest? Roll over and ask them to rub your belly? As far as I'm concerned, the Horatio masses can play makeup and catwalk all they want. I'm getting out of here on that colonizer. Somewhere far away. Somewhere better. Personally, I think they both lost their minds. I head back to the bridge, with some of the altered posters feigning ignorance. That, at least, I'm good at. Uh, let's go out, Turgis. What are you arguing about? Did I hear something about die fighting? No, yeah, okay. Darren stands tall and strikes a pose. Brothers! Darren, it's just us. What's up? Oh, come on, I practiced. Forget that. Just tell me, what in the four beauties are you guys planning? Darren loses his imposing orator pose, then slides straight into his conniving conspirator pose. There's a banquet. All the high and mighty of this foul station will come together. That's where the forces of freedom and justice will strike. I want to get out of this place. I want whatever plan they have to work. That means I want to be included, and that means I have to make sure they like me. And that, finally, is why I don't roll my eyes and say something loaded with enough snark to take out a small son. Forget the forces of freedom. We're looking at the forces of the Vultures. Several ships suddenly appear in front of us. Where did they come from? Why didn't we detect them? Tora starts stroking her buttons and dials. Vulture. She's looking forward to whatever is going to happen a bit too much. Wow. It's too late to maneuver. They're already upon us. A blinking red light alerts us we're being locked onto by enemy weapon systems. Yes, Rink, caller. The diminutive alien pushes a few buttons, and the image of a young Vulture female appears on screen. Horatio Slime. Can we date her? Because I'm getting tired of all the Horatios, including me. Yeah, Abby found her very rare victory satisfying. But she gloated in it too much, so it doesn't fully count. So where we're at, Joe, just to catch you up here, is we got ourselves demoted from initiate because we screwed up at dancing. Then we went with the science dude and Gray Horatio that Rachel loves, who's on our right here. And Gray Horatio, we're stuck on this little scouting ship on a crap mission where we're supposed to die. Gray Horatio is plotting a revolution. Science Horatio is planning to run away. And now we're trying to get connected to the revolution. Oh, we also got more aliens. This pink-haired lady is a Vulture. Which I'm not going to explain that because it's not that relevant. They're just another empire. Because it's more aerodynamic, Abby. The boob's got to be aerodynamic to get out of the atmosphere. Anyway, we just got boarded by the Vulture. What, you don't think I know that? Are you ready to make a deal? Begging for your lives? Why should I? Lock the anti-gluons on them. We're friends. Excuse me? Yeah, good point. We have common enemies and common interests. You want to get into the station, and we want to get out of it. How about we make a deal? Figures. Honorless scum. What's the problem? You can't beautify the dead, so it's better not to become one. Here's my offer. We'll drop the scans and sensors on the nearest part of the station and put a hole somewhere easy for you to get in, and I can do it in exactly 17 hours and 9 minutes. Nice. Go on. You guys come in, create mayhem, take what you want, and leave. Still listening. But here's the catch. When you leave, take us with you. We went out of this madhouse. Gosh, that's pretty. But you know what? Here's the actual deal. We show up in 17 hours and 8 minutes. If there's no hole in the station, we will make a really, really big one. Big as in the size of Horatio's ego. She's this chick's on our crew. Ooh. If you stay low and manage to survive a bunch of angry Volta Marines whose families were spliced into the Horatio on Iridian, well, hell, we'll take you with us. We can always use a few suicidal risk-takers. The Volter captain cuts the transmission, and the Volter ship pulls away. Yes! Yes! Oh, Science Guy is with us. Yes! Fun! Blow things up! We all look at Tora. Sorry, I was educated on Heckham. As the Volter ship departs, Turgis F-07 and Darren F-19 congratulate each other. I noticed that one of the Horatio Scouts vessels didn't go down so easy. There's a huge tear along one side, and the repairs look hasty and temporary. That makes me worry about our getaway ship. Hey, Darren F-19, it looks like the cavalry that's riding in to save us has a lame horse. Yeah, I checked. It's first-class tickets. The first-class tickets on the Lumerian luxury yachts are all sold out this month. I have to say, Darren, it does look risky. Revolution requires sacrifice. Why do I voice all girls by not using my vocal cords to make them sound like... Because everyone in this universe is crazy. Okay? So, like, I was considering doing one of them as a Southern Belle. I'm going to be totally honest with you. You know what? Fine. Because of that. The scary chick, she's going to keep sounding like, hey. Volter girl, if she shows back up, she's going to be a Southern Belle. Even though she's a space Viking. Sure, I thought. I bet it does. But does it require mine? In terms of sacrifice. The return trip is much less eventful, other than the fact that Rank seems to view piloting as an act of approximation rather than precision. There are definitely new dings and knocks on the ship when we finally get out, but Rank doesn't care. Put it on my tab. They don't like us anyway. We're ugly aliens who do a job they're scared to do. Yeah, you have to grab the phone where you can. They take off in one direction. Turgis, Darren, and I go another. The three of us are buzzing with excitement. We go to dinner. We sit down and act relaxed. We're doing our best to look Horatio. I think we'll probably fail, but in a society this narcissistic, people don't really notice other people. It is an interesting mixture of excitement and insecurity, knowing we are looking to cause some big trouble. Knowing that if anything falls apart, the repercussions will probably involve the recycler. Life suddenly has a weight and importance it didn't have a half hour ago. The faces of my co-conspirators, the sounds of the cafeteria, the susurrations of the ventilation, it all seems clearer, stronger, more intense. My senses are all on edge. In fact, the food actually has flavor. That is what rebellion does to you. Do you seriously want to take over the station? Do you really think things will change any other way? We're going to have to side with Darren. Because we promised. Rachel. Turgis, I think his plan makes the most sense. It makes even more sense than you think. The Volters are just a diversion. The real question is, what's the smartest way to take over the station? With that, Darren says goodnight and leaves. Frankly, I have also had enough excitement for one day. Do you really want to go that way? I don't know, but anything that results in the status quo is something I refuse to agree to. A group of other Horatios come and sit near us, so Turgis leans back. We'll chat tomorrow. I return to my room to discover I'm utterly exhausted. The noise of the mechanics is nothing. I doubt a full-scale invasion would keep me awake. Still, I toss and turn a bit, wondering what I'm into. So the Horatios have a great idea and are convinced that I should join them. And I will. But because so far all of my own great ideas have done is lead me here. I can't say I sleep the sleep of the righteous, but at least I can finally sleep. I wake up the next morning having suffered bad dreams born by fear and frustration. At least in one of them, I'm in the cockpit of the space turd, traversing the stars, the galaxy, a limitless thing of hope and possibilities opening up before me. That reminds me. I forgot to mention this earlier, Joe. I had a dream last night, okay? I was in Oakland, in Pittsburgh. It's a neighborhood in Pittsburgh. And I was with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and he and I were working together to dodge a series of assassins. It was a very intense dream. Anyway. At least, no, we already read that. Then I hit an asteroid, there's a loud noise, and I die. Then I wake up. It turns out the loud noise is actually someone yelling at me. I peek into the corridor to hear both the public address system and some loud Horatio saying the same thing. Dress rehearsal today. Everybody up and looking gorgeous. Start early. The lines at the beautification stations are going to be long. And the first few hours of the day passed just as I suspected. I beautify myself, put on my best outfit, gray overalls, but slightly cleaner, and report to the kitchen. Yeah, it was like not a dream I've had before. That was, it was something different at least. Placeholders, F21, good to see you. I guess we're still on Eternus P20's, we're still on Eternus's imperfection list. I just go where the hologram tells me, but at least there's some friendly faces here. Oh, that's almost full. Believe me, it's the very best place to be today. We follow instructions and find ourselves stirring a mind-numbing variety of pots full of food in various shades of gray and yellow. Once in a while, an overexcited flunky runs in, yells at someone, and runs out. More doilies. I must have more doilies, but in yellow. The kitchen seems to have been designed with the objectives of setting up the space and layout so that you can run out of the most important things that are stored in the most inconvenient location in the worst possible moment. In the middle of all of it, Turgut slides up to me with a cup. Hey, drink this. I can't find the shrimp forks. But I'm not thirsty. Drink this. How can we be out of Calgarosian truffle meat? Seriously, I've work to do. Drink this. Okay, I drink it. I don't know what they're on about, but it's the only thing in the kitchen that doesn't taste awful. Hey, thanks, I guess? Next time, just ask. Hey, Turgis, where's the, special spice blend? How should I know? You had it. And I gave it to you, and I used it and gave it back. And then I used it, and... oh, it's over there. Darren sidles over to a small spice bottle and discreetly dumps it down the incinerate chute. Which one is the stew? That goes in the biggest chafing dish. We regard the various dishes, none of which look either delectable or digestible, or like stew. Maybe this one? I look at the yellow-gray food in the dish. We should probably taste it and check the seasonings, but I don't see the little taster spoon nearby. Also, given what came out of the kitchen, I didn't really want to taste it anyway. I recklessly decide to align my fate with whatever the cooks have prepared. Don't say I'm not courageous. Ready? Ready? I nod. Hey, Muscleless. What? Is something wrong? No, chill. Just remember that the first plate always goes to the highest ranking. That's Eternus P02. The clone is deeply, deeply offended. How dare you lecture me on matters of protocol? Muscleless stomps out. The three of us look at each other and can't help but giggling. Let's do this. We all carry our dishes through a corridor just outside the kitchen that leads to the concourse and arrange them in a long buffet line. The place is bathed in the soft glow of floating chandeliers. Whatever else you say about them, Eternus knows how to put on a show. We line up with the other cadets, nervous and excited, desperately hoping to impress Eternus. For a moment there is complete silence. The doors at the far end of the hall slowly guide open. The march of glorious Centurion perfection starts up over the loudspeakers. The tension is killing me. And the food, apparently, is doing that to someone else. What? Oh, pimple. Tens of identical heads turn and look. Bacchus is just lying there, just beneath the stew, a little taster spoon in his hand. At least I think it's Bacchus. But that's not the real question here. I look at Darren and mouth silently. Special spices? He appears to be fascinated by his fingernails. I look at Turgis. His face is white. Eternus comes over, glorious and passionate like a tower of gold and emerald rage. Kitchen staff, now! I have a bad feeling. We all look so gorgeous, and this is going to be so ugly. How dare you let this happen? The most glorious will be here in a matter of hours, and we can't even feed ourselves. Bacchus was bound to eat himself to death sooner or later. Recycle Bacchus, and take Mausolus M17 here as well. No! But they do it. 2 guards come in and drag Mausolus to the chute. On the plus side, he'll never have to worry about shrimp forks again. Wow, that got dark real fast. I shut down where my imagination takes me. Eternus is yelling again. You 3! I try to duck out of the way, as if the accusation will go somewhere else. But I can see where he's looking. Each of you, a spoon of the stew, now. I go white as Turgis. This is not what is supposed to happen. What, me? No, I see the look on his face. Right. Now. I look at Darren, who doesn't appear to be concerned. Like, in the least. And I think, what? He humbly eats a spoon. Oh, awful. My stomach. And I look next to him. What's in there? Yuck. They're play acting. They're moaning and holding their stomachs. And something inside me just goes, oh, right. So I eat a spoon and go full thespian. I'm cramping up. Pain. It's so unbearable. Such digestive horror. What unholy nourishment is this? Woe is me. Darren and Turgis give me dirty looks at the last phrase. I guess I sort of overdid it. Eternus shakes his fist and points at the food. Get rid of it. All of it. And you 3, I want the kitchen cleaner than his perfect brow in 1 hour. Scrubbed, sterilized, spotless, perfect. And I'm talking about levels of perfection only this glorious empire understands. It's just the 3 of us, and it's quiet. But only for a very short time. Scars and pimples, all of it for nothing. What in his name are we going to get a chance like that again? Our friends are going to be here in a matter of hours and... Hold on. What exactly were you planning? What was supposed to happen? Darren shifts from one foot to another. Turgis shifts from the other foot to one. Okay, placeholders. There was a little more to it than that. Turgis, thank all the beauties you're still here. We have some worrying news from the clone facilities. It seems that a large number of the recent batches went through a faulty procedure. This might have even been going on for months. Oh no. For months? Darren is faking concern. Poorly. Turgis, I need your help here. We need to test everybody in sequence A through L of the last 20 generations. It could take hours. The 3 of us look at each other, then at the excited lab tech. Wow, really? Let's do this straight away. Absolutely. I was trying to get hold of you. You were off risking your life in asteroid somewhere. Yeah, let's do this. Hey, set things up over there. We'll round up the usual suspects. Darren is pointing at a recently cleaned part of the kitchen counter. Perfect space for setting up mobile lab equipment. It's also right next to the recycling chute. Oh no, I think to myself. Turgis puts a finger to his lips. Eternus suspects saboteurs. Let's do this quietly. Excellent idea. It'll be quieter back there. Very good, very good. I feel better about this already. I was running some diagnostics on the latest batch, promotion CX48, and it seems that there was some sort of malfunction in one of our memory berths. There was an electrical fault caused by a strain on the power system, and while it didn't cause any harm, it means that payload implementations of the clone nested in that berth may have been faulty, either corrupted or incomplete. There's no way to know which it is. The individuals had access to all station systems without having ingrained loyalty towards Horatio. And now there are rumors of sabotage. The coincidence is uncanny. Oh, it's more than uncanny. It's highly upsetting. It is, isn't it? There's a certain sad inevitability in how the scene plays out. They set up the equipment. Turgis F7 draws the technician in with a lot of jargon and fake concern. While they make noise, Darren F19 silently pulls open the recycling chute behind them. Placeholders F21. Note, the F were all from the same berth. He's speaking softly, and we share a long, complicated look. Yeah, let's go with it. I sigh with the inevitability of fate, and crouch down behind the technician. In time not even measured in seconds, the three of us understand what has to be done. Turgis accidentally pushes the technician so he staggers backwards. He falls back on top of me, and with a couple quick shoves, he's nothing but a fading scream amid the plumbing. They just did Gus's table. I'm in so deep right now, but it all suddenly feels logical, even inevitable. Except something has gone wrong. A siren is going off in the distance. I hear footsteps. Footsteps of well-shod feet, carrying Horatio, who seems to be carrying a lot of gear, in the hallway outside. So wait. You guys aren't just Horatios with an attitude problem. You guys are like me. Yep, please hold us. We aren't just kindred souls. We're kindred souls who have escaped the emotional and psychological suffocation of complete indoctrination. Even more, we are warriors who shall overthrow this hierarchy of falsehood and lies. They'll be honest now. They'll miss Takras here any minute. Time to move. Come, placeholders. We can get the access codes to the ship. We can get the H out of here. Go anywhere in Constellation. Start cloning a truly perfect society that resembles you and I. You can't leave now. The hour is nigh. Our fight for freedom begins. This is our chance. Our one chance to throw off the yoke of oppression and lead the downtrodden masses to a meaningful destiny. I look at them both. They look at me. This can't go on. Let's bring them all down. Darren runs over to a series of chutes in the wall and yanks one open. Quick, in here. Isn't that the recycling chute? No, wow, sorry. He pulls open the chute next to it and dives in headfirst. I can't hear exactly what he says on the way down, but I'm pretty sure I hear the word revolution in there somewhere. We follow him down, perhaps stupidly, but with conviction. It's time to start a tidal wave in this cesspool. We're running, trying to talk, which is not a combination that works very well together. I will say, unless you're Tom Cruise on the phone. The number of times Tom Cruise is on the phone running, it happens all the time. So what's the deal? What's next? The Vaulters are coming. We have to do something, right? Just follow me. So I huff and I follow. We end up at the last place I expected. We're in section B8, in a hallway that has a series of secure storage rooms. We walk down, checking the room numbers before we stop at small arms locker 4. Darren opens the door with a passcode. And Darren's declarations that change can only come through violence? Apparently it's not just a marketing pitch. Remember what we did in the kitchen? Editing Imperial maintenance schedule? I'll tell the system. Eternus, open the arms lockers. Everyone on the station would be too scared to challenge that information. Oh no, what if it's him? No one will know until it's all over. You know, sometimes insecure paranoia is a great thing. He unlocks everything using biometric data from Eternus. I give him a stunned look. Easy, remember? I know his Chamberlain. He talks into his holopad. That's true, they are Horatio, not Tom Cruise. It's a go. The lockers are open. Wait, who did you just tell? Our allies in the struggle against oppression. Oh. She caresses the barrel of a flamethrower. rubs her cheek against a low-yield field beam weapon. I'm grabbing everything I can carry. We should do revolutions more often. Motors! Let's go, guys! A surprisingly orderly file of marine mercenaries and disgruntled clones come through the room, taking what they need and moving on. Near the end of it, a nervous and uneasy voice comes over the intercom. Third rank esteemed Grand Headmaster Radikai Eternus P02. Sir, is everything okay? I freeze for a moment, but Darren just smirks. In fact, he's almost doubled over with contained laughter. He holds up his holopad and I hear, "How dare you let this happen?" It's Eternus, far from our chewing out at the kitchen. Darren recorded him. It is not, of course, in any way an answer to the question, but it cuts any chance of further inquiries. The intercom goes dead. Yeah, okay, that was good. You're a kind of subversive genius. Darren is gleeful. There's no greater joy in life than using the corrupt system against itself. Ooh, can you imagine a Netflix adaptation of this with all Tom Cruise? He would never do it, but it would be fantastic. And surreal. Not actually good, just surreal. I'm starting to agree with you. So you have your army, but what about the breach? Keep right-clicking. That's next. We just have to go. But we have to go. Even the densest of clones will eventually come down to check, just in case. We'll head back to the greenhouse. Nobody but Turgis knows about the entrance we use, and he's in on it. It's a lot of words, okay? And I went from this morning not talking to anybody, then I did a bunch of talking, and now I'm doing more talking. It's hard. We can plan the final steps then. We leave the empty weapons locker, and I start to feel tightness in my neck and shoulders. This is getting more and more intense. Okay, we know when and where, more or less, our friends. He cuts me off. Our acquaintances with common goals. You can't be a true friend if you're not part of the movement. Okay, yeah. So we know when and where our acquaintances with common goals will strike. But how do we do it? Blow a hole in the station. And, if I might add, not die. We need to crack the hull at an airlock near the freight docks. We don't really have to blow it open. Their miners will do the rest. Crack the hull? With what? Explosives. He seems extraordinarily gleeful when he says that. Gosh, I must have left mine in my other generic overalls. Don't worry, we can homebrew them. I read it in the Revolutionaries cookbook. It turns out if you combine the deep facial pore processing cream with no hair, body, beautiful skin scraper, and pour in a few glasses of Horatio Summer Fantasy Bermago cologne and let it sit, in about 2 minutes it goes critical and detonates. Whoa, the stuff we use is that aggressive? You know what they say, placeholders. True beauty demands true pain. Yeah, okay. What happens when the Vultures show up? We didn't keep any guns for ourselves. He looks horrified. What? Weapons? You really want to get weapons that you have no idea how to use? Get serious. We're dashing, not deadly. That's why I gave those to the professionals. I mull it over. When the captain referred to us as suicidal risk-takers, she maybe was not far off the mark. There has to be more to it. I'm your friend, Darren 19. Tell me what's really going on. It's like this. You keep talking about insurrection and revolution. So what's this about leaving with the Vultures? It doesn't match with the rest. He looks at me and moves closer. Ha, friendship. What an odd idea. Maybe we indeed are becoming friends. We can discuss this later, in private, when we're not in the middle of a revolution. Would you just tell me what happens after the Vultures attack? You guessed it. I can't hide anything from you, placeholders. The truth is, I lean in curious, I'm not leaving. One way or another, this will be over when Eternus is dead. And because Turgis is his chamberlain, I have run of all of his rooms, all of his clothes, toiletries, everything. When the Vultures leave, a sorrowful clone dressed in Eternus P12's clothes will pull things back together. But that clone will be me. From that position, I'll be able to affect real societal changes around here. No need for an armed revolution if you're stabbing the enemy in the back. I'm stunned, not just at the audacity and scope, but the fact that Darren's plans are a lot less half-assed than I thought. I've been continually dismissive of him, but he was playing galactic 4D chess. Alright, I'm with you. All in, all the way, on one condition. Which is, I point to myself. I get to be the Chamberlain. He grins, and soon we're both smiling like idiots. Let's go break an empire. Okay, we need to raid the entire station, pretty much, to get rid of the bomb ingredient. To get enough of the bomb ingredients. I'll see what I can dig out of the storage bins. I'll forage around if I can't find what I need there. Cool. I'll clear out the janitorial closets and get more ingredients from the labs. I have all of Turgis's access codes. See you at the airlock. And we're off and running. Ooh, music change. My audio's capture's all weird. I don't know what's going on with this today. You guys can hear the game, right? 1 second, I just want to see something. Audio input capture. Audio output capture. Ah. Sorry, 1 second. Aha! Now let's turn that down a bit. But why is it coming through there too? Unless it's picking it up from... Huh. My OBS has gone all kinds of funky. Okay, so you haven't heard it until this point. But now you should be able to hear it. Yeah. I don't know what happened to my OBS, but whenever I first started, it didn't have my mic set up anymore. And I just looked and realized that you didn't have the other audio. Whenever I was like, man, this is jamming, you know? Alright. Oh, I accidentally skipped one. My first stop is the storage area, down in the less pleasant part of town. I used Darren F-19's trick to get into the stock rooms and managed to load a cart with a flotilla-sized quantities of deep facial pore processing cream. The no-hair body, beautiful skin scraper is harder to dig up, but then I realized that some of the industrial disinfectants we use in the kitchen have the same ingredients. Excuse me. I hide my loot near the airlock and head back to the place where I first had my fateful meeting with Darren. As soon as I step into the door, I see another clone, dutifully scrubbing wrinkly ball sacks. I start grabbing supplies while I think. Hey, what are you doing? Those supplies are only for use in the kitchen. Yeah, well, you see, put those down. That's theft. I'll hit the alarm. The revolution can't come too quickly for me. You really want to hear this? As a reply, he moves his finger towards the panic button. The headmaster is in a foul mood. He pulls back. I use the magic word. This is gonna be fun. I look around conspiratorially, which resembles the way I've been looking around ever since I woke up in the lab. You know Turgis, his chamberlain? There was a faint air of gossip in the room. Horatio catnip. Well, it seems he hasn't been doing his job keeping the headmaster's quarters as tidy as they should be. The clone melodramatically puts his hand over his mouth. So the headmaster asked me to do it, and I am not taking any chances. His eyes narrow. He's considering the possibilities for extortion or blackmail. So you let me do this, and I won't forget you helped. So, that means nothing. I think quickly. On top of that, I'll show you a secret door into the greenhouse. He was definitely acting before, because now his eyes go wide. That's a good start. The moon is cool, and there's a chill dude there. The trans-dimensional seed pod is a perfect taste of things to come. Really? Oh, wow, I heard rumors, but... Just find me tomorrow. Anytime, placeholders. Aim for another planet on the other side of the system. Yes, that is something that, yeah. You got to be careful, more careful with that autopilot than you even realize. Because if you aim at a planet and you're good, and it rotates just enough such that your angle will intersect with the sun, that's bad. But what got me a few times is I could clearly see the planet, right? And the rotation-wise, it was going to be fine. But it was going to skirt me. I didn't realize how wide the point of no return on the sun is, and I got sucked in gravitationally. So you got to be very careful. I finished grabbing things and hurry out, not wanting to give him any more time to think. I get there and I start opening boxes, emptying bottles, filling buckets. I stack the empties on one side and the volatiles on the other. Wow, that was fast. You're lucky. I had to steal the last couple bottles of Horatio Summer Fantasy Bermageux cologne from Aternus' quarters. And I'm pretty sure the guard identified me. And I'm pretty sure that, well, that was going to happen. We start dumping everything into the buckets and bottles and boxes. The most unholy smell is beginning to emerge, and the atmosphere is starting to turn caustic. Yeah! You can't breathe. Let's go! Oh no! Let's see here. It still takes a couple minutes before we can breathe. Okay, let's see here. Alright, let's go. We stumble out of the airlock and hit the close button. It still takes a couple minutes before we can actually breathe. Let's see if this will... Okay, cool. Yeah, that was just OBS being funky. Alright. And so I noticed after a couple minutes that nothing has happened. So, what's up? When does it go? It just takes a couple of explosion. There's dust and smoke and the smell of burnt metal in the air, as well as the distant ee of an air leak. It worked. I can't help but grin. Even in the dark, I hear a smile. Nice cookbook you found there. Suddenly, the lights start to flicker on again, and it looks like this. Wow. Very. Okay, now we wait for... They're here. Let's go. It takes some effort to get the doors back open, but when we do, we see a very different setting. The Vultures have a pretty good idea of what they're doing. Alright, I promised you Southern Belle. Move it, you cave toads. 30 minutes to grab anything that's not nailed down. And if it is nailed down, use a crowbar. Don't worry, Katya. This part we are really good at. Things happen quickly. A small party of Horatio Marines show up and see the Vultures and turn around and run. But somewhere they are not running. I hear a small arms fire and occasional minor explosion. I'm guessing that Exorus is putting up a fight, along with anyone he can conscript. Out of the way, kids. The Vultures shoulder past, leaving only a few defenders as they scan for trophies and loot. Placeholders. What's up? I'm going to find Aternus. His explanation is cut off by the arrival of old friends. Hey, Darren. Let's get a move on. We'll do what was promised, but we want to do it now. Because they're an intergalactic empire, Abby. People from the United States are from the same place and have the same accent. Silliness. I have a meeting with Aternus, and that bastard has a meeting with Destiny. Wait for me here as long as you can. Let's follow Darren. Try to follow Darren. I run after him because regardless of how I feel about his plans, he does know where his guns and the fighting are. I figure it's better to go to know what's going on than not. Wait up! I'm barely around the corner when I hear weapons again and realize that I'm not carrying one. given that suicide isn't really an interesting option, I decide to go back and wait. I find that 2 guards have started mounting a pile of explosives next to the breach. They really must have something against the Horatio. She's going to be... Let's see. I started Skyrim, and then I went Arnold. You have broken the law. Okay. She's going to be pissed when she finds out who used the dust warhead. These things cost more than oxygen. Oops. I lost my parents only Lydia. She lost her sister. I think this is exactly the sort of breach of protocol for which will be yelled at publicly and thanked for privately. Everything seems to be going swimmingly, until obviously it doesn't. I didn't expect a visit from an old friend. Placeholders! What are you doing here? Getting the Horatio out of here. I don't want to end up as crazy as the rest of you. A Horatio defector. This is not happening. Not on my watch. He's mine. Suddenly, there's a lot of gunfire, and I hit the deck. The vaulters seem to be content to play for time, waiting for their squads to come back. Unfortunately, Exus is not playing the same games. Don't say I didn't warn you. I see a fat gun barrel come around the corner. I dive for the relative safety of the pod. It's my 3rd explosion in one day, and I'm getting tired of them. This time, everything turns black, and then golden. And then I'm outside the station, floating. Or hallucinating. Probably both. Suddenly, I see the Endless. These are the missing space gods, basically. And flash through my life since I woke up in the lab. Then I go to sleep. Or die. I'm not entirely sure at this point. I feel like I'm out of it for about 3 days, but it's probably more like 10 minutes. It all becomes pretty clear pretty quick. There's a fleet. Wait. Her accent. What I do declare. There's a fleet warping in. Are you coming or not? I stagger into the boarding pod, which makes some horrible noises as it extracts itself from the hole it made. Suddenly, the station is disappearing behind me. Then I think, Darren? And then I black out again. Welcome to the galaxy. I hope you don't mind the ship. We stole one of yours. A bit dainty, but comfortable. Almost had a mutiny, though, when they saw what was in the galley. You call that crap food? Not mine. Theirs. I never felt like one of those clones. I'm just thankful to be out, and, where are we headed? She looks happy. Harrow. The Academy. The seat of Assander's power. I feel a cold chill run down my spine. Wasn't I supposed to be going there as a Horatio spy for some sort of special training? Why would the Vaulters be going there? And the only reason we can go there, placeholders, is that we have you. You went and got blasted with enough dust to landscape a desert. And the fact that you're still alive means that you somehow managed to deal with it. And sentients that can do that are very interesting for Assander. I ease back into my seat, slowly. I've gone from being a pawn in Eternus games to being a bargaining chip for a Vaulter fleet. Which, from my point of view, is a major improvement. As it is, the future looks equal parts fascinating and terrifying. I'm all in. What? What? We didn't get to romance. Where was the romance? I call questions on that. Because, like, I don't know how else I was gonna get into my pants. Unless this is just, like, the most wholesome of the... I mean, there's gotta be a bunch of options. Alright. We have completed Love Thyself Horatio. Quit. And that means it is time for Kyle is famous. Oh, Horatio. Oh, Stanley. I mean, is it a bad ending? Because we've got superpowers, right? So, like, the dust is the ability to manipulate dust means that you can basically do space magic. Okay. So, is it a bad ending? I don't think so. I mean, it's the lonely ending, but maybe I make it out now with the Vulture chick. Also, I feel like the scientist dude should be with me. I might have mixed
up. He is famous.
I may have mixed up names, Joe. But apparently Kyle is famous.
Kyle is host of the most popular talk show in recent memory, Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Let's make sure that this is loud enough.
Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown in popularity quickly in the last year, and the public has noticed. Inside has called Kyle a most excellent dumpy white man.
I feel that.
Top Tech noted that Kyle is inspiring youth to explore STEM fields.
I haven't done that, I don't think.
Most other talk shows are dedicated to discussing Kyle and his personal details.
Wait, most other talk shows? Literally, that's what they are?
Most online videos are best of clips taken from Kyle's latest broadcast.
Kyle is very famous.
The eye of the world is upon Kyle. Tonight is Kyle's most important guest interview yet. Stay Up Late with Kyle will be featuring Rachel May. She is a kind and lovely philanthropist. She is dear to the hearts of many. This interview requires preparation. Kyle cracked his eyes open, knowing
it's not
today
randomly
is his
generated.
last chance to prepare for the interview.
But I already feel what you're feeling. Yeah.
Kyle has 30 hours left. He must choose his actions wisely.
Interesting. Yeah, I have very little idea about this game. His first action of the morning: exit the bed or wither away. All right, we'll exit the bed. Quick glance around the. Wow, this is interesting. Let's open the closet. He can only really see his hanging shirts. Wait, back to the bedroom. Scavenge.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for
Gossip.
Kyle firmly pressed his ear into the carpet, hoping to hear some stray words from the neighbors below.
I heard Rachel May is going on a trip out of the country soon. Oh, girlfriend, tell me more.
I love that this is one dude voicing everything.
Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight misdoers.
What the heck?
There was a stunned silence. Then a door opened, and someone exited the neighbor's apartment.
Let's go to the hallway. Let's leave the bedroom. Or let's leave the apartment. Kyle walked out into the middle of the road and took a long, pondering look around him. Okay, we have got. Let's visit the tech store. He was greeted by Techno Jim, elaborate cutout of a mascot. Let's ask an attendee for free samples.
Kyle asked the store attendant whether or not they offered any free samples to important customers.
Joe, mind you, mind you, I'm going to be the DM that validates all your dumb choices without issue. You're going to have to try to make something dumb enough that I won't validate it. Where'd my mouse go? Oh, there it is.
The attendant gave Kyle a confused and slightly vacant look. Kyle began to beg for a free sample. Wanting Kyle to leave, the attendant grabbed a decrepit phone meant for spare parts and held it out.
Let's grab it with the teeth.
Kyle firmly clamped his mouth around the outstretched phone, creating several punctures in the screen. Kyle grunted and yanked with his head until the attendant let go of the phone. The phone is now Kyle's to use forever.
Let's visit my downstairs neighbor.
Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor's door, and a middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. "Good morning, neighbor," said Kyle cheerfully. Gabby looked at Kyle expectantly. "Gabby," asked Kyle, "are you the bug vigilante?"
Oh, this is I make unforeseen experiences. That's pretty good, Abby. The voice acting on this is already killing me. Yeah, and I believe in you, Joe.
For a moment, Gabby looked stunned, but then she realized his seriousness. Gabby nodded once. The door shut in Kyle's face.
Let's go back to my apartment. Let's go to the kitchen. Oh no, we really don't have time for much else. Let's open the fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
Oh shit, I don't know if we have enough hours to prepare breakfast. Let's eat the fridge.
Kyle pointed his neck directly upwards and hoisted the fridge on top of his face. Somehow, miraculously, he wrapped his mouth around the device.
He's new cursed
and started
Kirby.
to swallow. In one slow, horrible movement, the fridge slid down Kyle's throat. After many gurgles, pops, and snaps, Kyle felt relatively sure the fridge would not come back out. Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Rachel's smile quickly turned to shock as she realized Kyle had not put on clothes that day.
Wait, I gotta wait to catch you guys up to this. Alright, this is fantastic. And the guy is the narrator just is making this so much better. Alright, you guys have caught up to me now.
Kyle waved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eyes. Kyle started making his rounds around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked at him directly. As it became apparent that Kyle had no intention of leaving, one by one, the crew followed suit.
It's just fantastic.
Kyle was left all alone.
Kyle prepared by being a nudist. All right, we gotta start again. Oh, we now have the phone between plays. That's interesting.
Kyle started to scroll through news articles on his phone. Stay Up Late with Kyle ranked #1 and #2 show on television. New East Bridge being constructed after being found to not actually exist. Authorities investigating.
What?
Another grand larceny and crime spree streak. Evidence points to perpetrator fleeing the country. Rachel May to unexpectedly leave the country on very, very long vacation after interview tonight.
Oh, she's the criminal.
Who is the bug vigilante, recently spotted pursuing larcenists? Kyle fails to show up to several...
All right, let's get out of bed. And let's open the closet. And let's choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
Oh, man, there's so many good options, but we're going to be back here. Let's start with a slick suit.
Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body into the suit. The chest pockets were filled with random knickknacks.
Now...
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor.
Scavenge for gossip
Kyle
again.
I heard Rachel May is
Oh,
going
we
on a
already heard
trip
that,
out
though.
of the country. Well, what I will tell you is that there was...
So that was a waste of hours. Because we found that out on... Alright, let's exit. And... let's check that locked door.
Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside.
I think we might get Gabby versus Rachel.
Kyle decided it would be best to try to force the door open with use of his face. After smashing his features into solid wood for several minutes, Kyle gained severe short-term amnesia.
Let's eat the crust
Kyle
and see
opened
what
the
happens.
fridge, intending to find something to eat. Kyle started scraping streaks of crud and spots of mold off of the walls of his fridge. After wadding it into a crusty, moist ball, Kyle popped it into his mouth and began to chew.
Ugh.
Several minutes of crunching later, Kyle finished and swallowed the ball whole. It felt sticky in his stomach.
Let's check the pantry.
Kyle wanted to access the pantry, but found it was locked with a small keyhole.
Interesting. We're learning lots of things.
Kyle hurried to
But
the
we're
cell.
not naked this time.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. "Good evening, Kyle," she said, looking him in the eyes. "I've been looking forward to being here." Kyle responded.
Forgot her name from Amnesia. No!
"Hello. You?" Kyle's ears began to ring from his concussion. Rachel looked at Kyle, slightly confused, but continued smiling. Before she noticed the glazed look in Kyle's eyes, the producer approached. "Time to get started," he said, putting a hand on Kyle's shoulder. "Let's get stationed." Kyle sat in the nearest chair, which was Rachel's. After a moment, Rachel hesitantly sat in the host chair. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
Uh-oh.
"Good morning, everyone," said Kyle. "My name is... Kyle made a desperate effort to remember his name, or really anything. Kyle looked at Rachel.
This is
"You
fantastic.
know who I am?" he asked. Rachel looked back, confused. "Who are you?" "Well, if you're not Kyle, I don't know who you are," Rachel smiled sweetly. Kyle made up his mind that he was probably Kyle. "Well,
This is
he said,
this is
"I'm Kyle." A
utterly
long silence
fantastic.
followed. Eventually, Rachel spoke again. And I'm Rachel. Hi, everyone." She waved.
Joe, I have no idea what you're talking about. This is
"Hi, Rachel," said Kyle. "So why are we here?" Rachel was visibly worried. "Ha ha, funny," she said. "Weren't you planning on asking me any questions?" "I mean, I don't have any ideas." Kyle kept staring at Rachel.
not to beat a dead horse, Abby. That horse is live and
Someone
bucking.
coughed. Kyle looked around and noticed the crew. "Who on earth are all of you?"
I didn't
he
expect
asked.
this to run
Nobody
this
answered.
long.
Kyle got out of his chair and walked off frame, leaving Rachel alone with millions of viewers. Rachel smiled at the camera nervously. "Well," she said, "let me tell you some knock-knock jokes." Eventually, the producer ended the broadcast early due to technical issues. Kyle woke up in his bed the next day, remembering nothing about what had happened.
All right, Kyle. Forgot everything. Wait, do I... Okay, do I get to keep the...
Kyle woke up.
No, we can skip this part. All right. All right, where's my tissues? My nose is itchy. Good to know, Joe. Good to know. All right. What happens if we wither away?
Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died.
That's not what I was expecting.
Kyle is now a ghost. This does not relieve him of his responsibilities.
That was also not what I was expecting. Let's choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
Let's put on jeans and swimming goggles.
Kyle decided on a fashion-forward, casual style. He could barely see out of the goggles.
What happens at the desk? It's the best thing ever. All right, let's write notes for interview.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Are you a mother? Am I a mother? Is your mother a mother? Let's go with is your mother a mother?
Kyle wrote down his second question.
What are some diet tips? Beef, mashed or blended. Have you ever eaten a raw egg whole? Beef, mashed or blended.
Kyle wrote down his third question.
I purposely ran over a puppy? Oh man. Do you ever smile?
Kyle wrote down his last question.
What's your guilty pleasure? Do you feel guilty? Are you guilty?
Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
Let's check in the desk drawer. Small key.
Kyle grabbed the small key he kept in his desk.
Now let's see if we can go and use the pantry.
Kyle wanted to access the pantry, but found it was locked with a small keyhole.
It's not a question. It was not a question.
The pantry door lock creaked as if it hadn't moved for years, but eventually opened. Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored his massive amount of bottled lard.
Ignore the pantry. Chug a bottle of lard. Grab a bottle of lard. Let's grab a bottle.
Kyle grabbed
for
a
later
bottle of lard
use.
and stashed it on his person for later use.
Crap. Let's go to the bedroom. Scavenge
Kyle quickly
for gossip.
Kyle firmly...
Because I want to actually be able to ask about this.
Kyle hurried to the set. Per normal, he ceased to be a ghost before he arrived.
What? What? Per normal, he ceased to be a ghost before he arrived. So Kyle can just wither and die anytime he chooses. Okay.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. "Good evening, Kyle," she said, looking him in the eyes. "I've been looking forward to being here."
It's so... Yeah, the bottle of lard surprise tool we'll use later is good. But per normal, you can't beat these guys.
Kyle responded.
Scream and spin in circles. No, we'll answer politely this time.
"And I as well, Rachel," answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. "You are a most welcome guest." After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast.
Man, it's just so good.
A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
Let's gossip about my neighbor.
"Good evening, everybody," said Kyle. "My neighbor is a bug vigilante." With nothing more to say on the matter, he fell silent. Rachel, also on camera, stared at her hands and wondered when she was going to be introduced. The producer started cutting to different camera angles to break the tension. Kyle continued to remain silent and stare forward blankly. After several minutes, neighbor Gabby walked out onto set. "Hi, everyone," she said, smiling hollowly. "My name is Gabby, and I'm not a bug vigilante." "False." Kyle looked at Gabby and then returned to staring forwards.
What?
Gabby began to reply, but was interrupted by a bug-shaped intercom on her belt.
Bug girl!
It squawked.
A robbery's in progress on East 3rd. Report immediate.
Well, I listened again through the ground to get the bug girl thing.
Gabby threw the intercom on the ground and crushed it under her foot. After a beat, she spoke tightly. Something has come up suddenly and I must go. Gabby left the set. Well, said Kyle, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Rachel. Kyle got up, shook Rachel's hand again, and walked past the cameras, leaving her alone. Not knowing what else to do, the producer ended the broadcast. In the coming days, fans of both Rachel and Kyle dubbed this show as a masterpiece of television. Stay Up Late with Kyle's online pages were updated to reflect this broadcast as the most popular ever.
Oh man, yeah, you're
Kyle's producer
absolutely
later
right.
tried to have Rachel on the show again, but she was very, very, very busy.
One of these times, we're going to interview.
Kyle started to scroll through news articles on his phone.
All right, let's read the articles
Stay Up Late
again.
with Kyle ranked number
And
new. Another grand larceny.
let's actually go
and
through
crime
all of
spree
these.
streak. Evident.
All right.
Rachel May to unexpectedly leave the country on very, very long vacation after interview tonight.
We know that.
Who is the bug vigilante recently spotted pursuing larcenist? Kyle fails to show up to several charity events. Bug vigilante shows up to charity events with fresh-baked pastries. Donations flourish.
Are we the bug vigilante?
Hot dogs making resurgence as fuel source for both humans and tugboats.
What?
Phone model recalled. Techno gym stores blame overuse by customers. Kyle's phone exploded in his hands from overuse.
No! All right. We got to put on clothes.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
This time we're going to put on some skunk.
Kyle chose the pasties made out of mashed skunk flesh.
That's not what I expected.
Getting the slimy garments to stay proved difficult, so Kyle opted to stick them to his body with hot glue.
Good call, Joe. Good call. Let's write our interviews.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
All right, let's start with
Kyle
Are you a
wrote
mother?
down his second question.
Beef, master
Kyle wrote
blended.
down his third question.
Do you ever smile?
Kyle wrote down his last question.
Are you guilty?
Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
Okay. Let's scavenge
Kyle-
for bugs.
Kyle started to pick between the fuzz of his bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or two. Soon, he had a small handful of various insects, dead and alive.
Eat immediately or save for later use. I have no idea. Let's eat them immediately.
Kyle threw back his head and crammed the sticky, wriggling mass into his mouth. He felt refreshed.
All right, we have time for probably nothing more. No, okay.
Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from
Okay, this is all the
as Kyle
same.
Good evening, Kyle. Kyle
Kyle
responded.
We'll answer politely.
And I as well, Rachel, answered.
We shake hands.
After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, a
Okay.
moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
Okay, we can start the broadcast.
Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Finally managed to get that far.
Kyle vomited all of the horrible things he had eaten earlier onto the floor.
I thought we had made it.
Rachel looked at Kyle, concerned, gave a couple coughs, and decided to play it cool and keep the show running. Kyle stopped, then vomited again, then continued with a shaky voice. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss. So we might as well dive right in, said Kyle.
Okay, now next time we have to manage to... Next time we interview, we actually have to manage to not be dying.
I'm very ready. said Rachel with a winning smile. Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier. Rachel, I and many others would love to know, are you a mother? Kyle looked up from his notes. Well, being a single woman with a career, she answered, that's not something that has crossed my mind. Rachel smiled genuinely at Kyle. Very reasonable indeed, said Kyle. He referenced his paper of questions. Kyle asked another question.
We just gotta go, are you guilty?
Rachel. Are you guilty? Kyle threw his questions on the floor, stood up and pointed at her. Rachel's eye twitched slightly. Guilty of what, dear Kyle? She smiled disingenuously. Guilty, spat Kyle, of your crimes!
Oh my god.
Rachel did not answer. Her eyelids both started twitching uncontrollably.
We can call the police, but my phone is broken, so let's just go with more.
Kyle asked another question. Do you ever smile? Spat Kyle.
I should have called
like,
the police.
Seriously. Okay. Rachel stopped smiling. If you're going to be on the show, you need to smile, okay? Said Kyle, not smiling. You're here to get views, and you'll get more views if you smile. Here.
Oh my god.
Kyle turned to the camera and gave the audience a huge, teeth-clenched, bug-eyed grimace. Rachel nodded, and Kyle asked another question. A burning question from the fans, said Kyle. Beef, do you prefer it mashed or blended? Rachel answered promptly. Mashed, and no more was said on that matter.
Oh.
After reading his final question, Kyle looked up from his paper. Well, Rachel, he said, I think that's all I was planning on asking you. If that's the case, Kyle, may I ask you something in return? Asked Rachel, smiling one more time. What on earth are you wearing? Are they made of skunks? Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast was over. Kyle returned home knowing the interview had gone well. But as he lay in bed and drifted to sleep, he felt that perhaps something was still missing.
Oh, we unlocked more world options. Kyle prepared very well. Alright, let's wither away.
Kyle decided to stay. Kyle is now a
Okay, now let's go to the hallway and check the locked door.
Kyle walked over to the strange
you were
door
right,
in
Joe.
the hallway, but
were
found
right.
quickly that the door was locked from the inside.
Float through as a ghost.
Kyle used his ghostly powers to walk straight through the door.
Kyle found himself in a room. He stashed the various items sent to him by fans. Sewing machine, supernatural artifact, and laser claymore. Let's start with the laser claymore.
Expecting a battle, Kyle grabbed the laser claymore.
And then the supernatural artifact.
This was one of the many mysterious artifacts Kyle had been sent over the years.
Smash or grab, smash or grab. Smash!
Kyle began pounding the mysterious artifact with both fists. Within a few hours, it had become dust. An ancient force trapped in the artifact.
Oh my god!
released and turned Kyle into a lizard demon.
That's not where I saw that going. Screw it, let's check the sewing machine.
Kyle walked over to the dilapidated sewing machine. Its box was only half removed.
There was nothing else to do with the sewing machine. Okay, back to the hallway. Let's put on some clothes. We gotta put on some clothes. Inspect rusty locker. That wasn't there before.
Kyle knelt down and inspected the old, rusty container that had been in his closet for ages. It was locked, but had a blade-shaped slot in the top.
And we can insert the laser claymore. Okay.
Kyle took the laser claymore in his hand and slid it into the hole on top of the box. The box began to rumble slowly, but then it shook harder and harder.
What is going on?
Suddenly, with a snap, the box lid came
I
loose.
am both a ghost and a lizard demon. Not just a demon, a lizard demon.
Kyle, giddy with excitement, grabbed the box to drag it into the light.
See, ghost, lizard demon.
With much sweating and pulling, Kyle slowly inched the box out of his closet. He began to giggle and drool.
The hell is this game?
Soon, the box had been transported into the middle
Also,
of the room.
the hours is gone.
Kyle clapped his hands together and gripped the lid on either side. With a tug, it tumbled to the floor, revealing the contents of the box. There was nothing inside. Kyle was incredibly disappointed. This had been an opportunity for him, a way to find something new, a way to break up the routine. Suddenly, Kyle was struck with an unquenchable feeling of boredom about his life.
This just keeps swinging.
Kyle jumped to his feet and burst outside, hungry to find anything that could give his day a feeling of interest.
But I don't have clothes on.
Painfully, Kyle started grabbing anything he could reach, smashing it into his face to see what it could possibly do for him.
What's going on?
Rocks, benches, people, squirrels, and the ground itself fell into Kyle's grasp. But soon, his energy began to wane.
The ghost lizard demon is... what?
Slowly, sadly, Kyle made his way back to his apartment, quietly grabbing small items off the ground and rubbing them against himself.
Who wrote this, and how hard was it for the narrator?
Kyle slowly sank into his bed, as bored as when he had left earlier that day. He looked at the ceiling, feeling hollow. The day had been very hard. As he slowly fell asleep, Kyle wondered what he could possibly do tomorrow to inspire a new sense of interest in his life. He didn't know it then, but tomorrow, Kyle would try something new.
What? Unlocked Kyle is hot dog. What does that mean? Okay. Wait, I can change jobs now? Okay, let's change jobs.
Kyle thought very carefully about the first move of his day.
Okay.
Kyle laid in bed for a moment, thinking about the day ahead. He would produce another episode of his long-running show. Yes. Kyle thought about making breakfast, the same breakfast he'd been making for the past 9 years. Kyle thought about the clothes he would wear. They had not changed for a long time.
That's disgusting. Those pasties... Anyway.
Kyle waited for something new and interesting to enter his head. Something fresh. Something exciting. Kyle continued to wait. Nothing came to mind. In a sudden moment of inspiration, Kyle threw his covers to the ground and stepped out of bed. Kyle had made a decision. Today would not be part of an old journey. Today would be the start of something new.
But...
Kyle walked over to his desk and opened the middle drawer. He slowly removed an ancient, withered stick of meat.
What?
Today, Kyle planned to make good on his childhood passion, the career he had abandoned to become a talk show host. Kyle looked caringly at the crusty hot dog in his hands. Then, he smiled. Then he bent his lips downwards and slowly sucked the hot dog into his mouth and down into his stomach. Kyle had become a hot dog vendor. He must now prepare for his first day running a hot dog stand.
Okay. 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 We can do this. Really is making me have to go at things differently.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
Gotta put on the hot dog suit.
Kyle put on his hot dog suit, which he had made by stitching hot dogs together when he was a child.
Let's chew on the suit.
Feeling fairly hungry, Kyle bent over and took a large bite out of his suit. He felt refreshed.
Hey, and it was a
wasn't
good
enough.
meal.
Kyle continued to
Oh
eat his clothing.
no!
Soon, Kyle had eaten most of the suit. The chunks that were left were enough to act as clothes, but barely.
Time until
Kyle
hot
felt
dogs.
satisfied. The hot dogs had nourished him greatly, functionally giving him more time in his day.
Interesting. That's why we gotta eat, to get more time in the day. Alright, what happens if we sit at the desk now? Let's search for hot dogs.
Kyle searched through his desk to find more hot dogs that he could sell. but Kyle had moved his hot dog stash somewhere else. He shut the desk drawers empty-handed.
Let's check in the desk drawers. Pick up the small key.
Kyle grabbed the...
And let's look for hot dogs in the kitchen.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
Now our only options are eat the fridge or search fridge for hot dogs.
Kyle searched through the fridge, trying to find hot dogs. His search turned up nothing. Kyle was not surprised, as he never stored meat in his refrigerator.
Why would I think that?
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
Let's check the pantry.
Kyle wanted to access the pantry. The pantry door lock creaked. Instead of an assortment
Aha!
of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored his massive amount of bottled lard.
But now, let's grab hot dogs.
Kyle searched around the pantry for a selection of hot dogs. After a few minutes of searching, Kyle found several stashes of old hot dogs loose and in paper bags.
Who...
He gathered them together and saw that he had a serviceable amount of hot dogs.
Let's go to the hallway. Leave the apartment. Let's visit a marketing agency. Why not? Approach the attendant.
Kyle walked over to the attendant and gave her a big smile.
Okay. My options are ask about life, ask about marketing, or pretend to die. Let's ask about marketing.
Kyle took a big breath. So how does the whole marketing thing work?
Well,
Said the attendant.
we offer several packages for old and new media starting around $100 customized for your needs.
Kyle bit his lip. Right, so... what can I get for free? The attendant stared blankly.
Not really anything.
Kyle didn't answer and stood staring for a moment, then walked away.
Alright, time to sell hot
Kyle
dogs.
made his way to the street corner. After a long day of preparation, Kyle felt very ready for his first outing as a hot dog salesman. Kyle started to unpack his things onto the corner of the street. As he unpacked, Kyle realized he had never gotten a food cart to make his hot dogs in.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Kyle had no choice but to place his hot dogs on the ground.
Yeah.
Looking at the hot dogs strewn across the sidewalk, Kyle realized he had found a golden opportunity. Kyle began to roll his hot dogs around in the dirt, pressing firmly so it would be embedded into the food.
Okay.
After a while, his back became sore from bending over. Kyle continued with the bottom of his shoe.
Makes sense.
Soon, all of the hot dogs had been sufficiently seasoned. Kyle swept his hot dogs into a pile and sat on the concrete next to them.
It's generally how I do it.
It was a warm day, and lots of people were walking by. It wouldn't be long before someone came over to buy a hot dog.
Of course not.
And in a couple minutes, as expected, a figure stepped over and stood in front of Kyle.
Kyle,
Said Gabby.
what are you doing?
Gabby, today I'm fulfilling my hot dog dream, said Kyle.
Okay.
This is my hot dog stand.
Wasn't expecting that voice.
Kyle,
Gabby searched for a way to tell Kyle gently that he was not about to sell any hot dogs. And then, in a moment of pure compassion and grace, Gabby decided to be Kyle's first customer.
Kyle, I want to help inspire you,
Said Gabby.
How much is a single hot dog?
Kyle wordlessly grabbed a hot dog from his pile, jumped to his feet, and shoved it into Gabby's mouth hole.
Okay.
Gabby realized that the hot dogs were delicious.
They were perfectly seasoned.
Driven by pure empathy, Gabby began to grab passersby on the street and force-feed them Kyle's hot dogs. One by one, the citizens of Kyle's city became embarrassingly obsessed with his hot dogs.
Okay.
As Kyle's pile of hot dogs ran out, the demand for his wares increased.
Oh no.
Kyle's hot dogs became a valuable form of currency. They were bought and sold on the international stock market.
Oh no.
Men and women were made rich from investing in Kyle's hot dogs.
They're NFTs. They're NFTs. Non-fungible dogs.
Kyle's hot dogs were all quickly snatched by investors. Having nothing left, Kyle decided to go home. As he entered his apartment, Kyle stopped. Today, He had turned over a new leaf. Today he had followed his dream. Kyle had helped the economy, yes, but he had also grown as a person. Kyle was content.
Okay. Okay. Let's try browsing social media on our broken phone.
Kyle started to scroll through news articles on his phone. Stay up late with New
Okay.
East Bridge.
We still have this again.
Who-
Let's go through that.
Kyle's
The phone
phone.
exploded again. Let's. This is one of the best games I've ever played in my life. All right, let's choose
Kyle
an
decided
outfit
to take some
of
time to choose the.
armor.
Kyle was unsure of what exactly caused him to decide to wear his armor, but it felt like the right thing to do. After much squeezing and sweating, Kyle managed to wrap the metal suit around his dumpy self.
All right, let's go and get some breakfast. Open the fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge.
Prepare breakfast.
Kyle constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast, along with a small fruit cup and grilled sausage.
We'll eat
Kyle
it.
ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite. He felt refreshed.
Oh no! Only the hot dogs have the power to make us feel better. All right, let's go. Let's go back to the bedroom. Let's go in unprepared. What are we gonna do? Let's actually go outside. We only have 3 hours. Let's visit the tech store, and we'll give a review of the free sample.
This phone, said Kyle, is several years old and has exposed wires coming out of the back. Kyle continued. Also, the screen has had issues ever since I used it to hammer nails into the wall. Furthermore, when I submerge it in water, I get severely shocked until it runs out of battery. The attendant looked at Kyle, pursed his lips, and said nothing. Feeling he had made his argument, Kyle decided to leave.
All right.
Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked. "Good evening, Kyle,"
All right.
Kyle responded.
We'll answer politely.
"And
again.
I as well, Rachel."
I want to see
answered
what
Kyle,
happens if we
extending
have
his
no
hand in
preparation.
greeting. After other mild exchanges of a moment after.
All right.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction.
I don't think Become Rachel May was there. Before. Let's go more.
Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. "Hello, Kyle," she said. "I'm glad to be here." "Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in," said. "I'm very ready." In a shock, Kyle realized he had never bothered to prepare any notes for the interview. Knowing he had the eyes of millions upon him, Kyle came up with a solution quickly.
Let's blame Rachel.
"Rachel, I need to be honest. You're not terribly interesting, and I could not think of what I should ask you. In fact," continued Kyle, "I would far rather interview a fish than I would you."
Ooh, that's rough.
"And furthermore," said Kyle, "I'm not sure I could tell the difference between a you and a fish."
Okay.
Kyle leaned back in his chair and desperately hoped the blame had been shifted adequately. Rachel glowered at Kyle. Kyle glowered back. Rachel left the studio. Kyle no longer had a guest and spent the next 42 minutes staring at the camera silently.
All right. Kyle prepared by blaming others. Let's reset to the interview. And so okay. So we can.
And
We'll shake hands.
a moment.
We start the broadcast. We introduce Rachel.
Cut.
And then.
In a shock. Knowing he
We
had.
play dead.
Kyle slumped in his seat and played dead.
Excuse me.
"Kyle, what are you up to?" asked Rachel, still smiling. Kyle did not respond and hoped nobody would ask questions. "Kyle, why are you pretending to be dead?" asked Rachel. "I can see you breathing." Kyle held his breath.
Does Kyle die?
The producer whispered to Rachel over her earpiece.
Give a couple slaps across the face and see if he wakes up.
Rachel got up from her chair, walked to Kyle, and slapped him firmly across the face. Rachel slapped Kyle continuously, trying to get him to stop play acting. Other members of the crew stepped into frame to start slapping Kyle as well. Soon, Kyle was lost in the amassment of people around him, all slapping his face with both hands.
Yeah, now I do gotta become her, too.
The slapping went on for many hours. Kyle did not wake up. Eventually, Kyle did not need to pretend to be unconscious.
Alright, reset to the interview.
Sitting as
Okay,
Kyle
we'll approach.
Good.
Alright,
Kyle.
we're gonna scream
And I
and run
as
in
well.
circles next, I think. Alright, so we start the broadcast, we introduce Rachel,
Tonight, I
and we
am-
become Rachel.
However, said Kyle, suddenly dropping his voice, Rachel May is not sitting next to me. She is not new to this show. She did not walk in before me. In fact, said Kyle, I am Rachel May. Rachel looked at Kyle, confused, and silently mouthed the words, "You are who?" Kyle stood up quickly and threw his arm high above him, pointing upwards. I have never been, Kyle, he proclaimed. I have never been the host of the show Stay Up Late with Kyle. Kyle looked and pointed directly at the camera. I am here for but one reason, to interview myself. Kyle sat down in his chair and went to produce the notes he had taken earlier. It was then that
Oh,
Kyle
no.
remembered that he had not bothered to prepare any notes for the interview. Realizing he did not know how to handle this situation, Kyle began sweating profusely, but he continued. Firstly, he said, is your name Kyle?
It is very well
No!
plotted
Kyle
together.
slammed his fist down repeatedly. Then he stopped talking. A thick, uncomfortable silence hung over the studio. The silence did not end. The cameras continued to roll. Nobody moved or spoke. Eventually, Rachel got out of her chair
I have
and
an
walked
idea.
off screen.
I have an idea.
One by one, members of the crew followed suit. Eventually, Kyle was left alone in the studio, camera still running, silently sitting in frame.
I mean, I would watch this show
This
because
episode of Stay Up Late with Kyle became the longest
You never
episode in
know what's gonna
television
happen.
history. Kyle continued to sit in front of the camera all night and into the morning, wishing it would end. As evening fell again, the crew shuffled back in one by one, getting in places to film that day's episode. Kyle continued to sit motionless, cameras rolling, as the crew chatted about their days and got in position. Eventually, the crew officially started the next episode. Kyle was prompted to introduce himself again.
it's also just
Kyle had produced an incredibly artistic episode.
okay. Kyle was artistic. Let's reset to the beginning of the day, though. I have an idea. What happens if
Kyle-
we browse social media?
Ki-
Gotta go
Hot
through.
dogs making resurgence as fuel source for both
That's right.
phone model recall.
All right.
Kyle's
Get out of bed. We gotta go to the closet. We gotta
Kyle
put
decided
on.
to take some time to choose the
We'll
perfect.
put on a slick suit.
Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body in.
And now we're gonna write interview questions. Okay.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
So let
Kyle wrote down his second question.
and then
Kyle
we're gonna
wrote down his
interview
third
ourselves.
question. Kyle wrote down his last question.
Okay, we're gonna
Kyle
interview
ripped his
ourselves.
page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
And then I don't know what to do with the rest of the time. Perhaps let's go to the hallway. Let's leave the apartment. Visit the tech store and steal Techno Gym.
Quickly, before the attendant could acknowledge him, Kyle grabbed Techno Jim by the shoulders. Finding that Techno Jim's cardboard feet were bolted to the ground, Kyle started to heave upwards. After several tugs, Techno Jim broke free, leaving one foot and one leg behind.
Okay.
Kyle glanced at the attendant, who was staring, bewildered, and ran outside.
There we go. Now we can start this again.
Good evening, Kyle.
I can interview
she said,
Techno
looking
Jim
him in the
instead.
eyes.
Okay.
I've been looking forward to
Good,
being here.
good to know.
Kyle responded.
All right, we're gonna this interview we're gonna do a few times then.
And I as well, Rachel.
We shake
After
hands.
A moment.
Start
Good
broad.
evening, everyone.
We
said
don't have
Kyle,
the
looking at
option to
camera.
be her.
Welcome back to
Interesting.
Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Oh wait, no, it's here. It
Tonight,
is. Okay.
I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May. However,
We become Rachel.
In fact, said Kyle. Rachel looked at Kyle. Kyle stood up quickly and I have never been Kyle, he proclaimed. I have never
listen to
been
this
the
one again.
host of the show Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Okay.
Kyle looked.
I'm here to interview
Kyle
myself.
sat down in his chair. Kyle read the first question on his list. Is your mother a mother? Kyle replied, no, because I am my mother.
Yeah, okay.
And, continued Kyle, I am your mother and everyone's mother and also Rachel and Kyle and... I'm also your children and that woman you met in the coffee shop yesterday and your high school best friend.
Not where I saw this going.
And I'm your friends and I'm that person next to you and I'm also you. Kyle waved his arms around and smiled.
Okay.
Nobody seemed to understand.
Okay.
It's a magic trick! Shouted Kyle happily. I'm everyone now!
Okay.
Kyle got up and happily danced out of the studio, arms spread wide.
Wait, is that it?
Although not taken seriously at first, sociologists quickly found that Kyle's claims were true.
What?
Somehow, magically, Kyle became everyone and nobody else technically existed anymore.
It's what?
After a massive amount of study, it was found that Kyle had stumbled upon a very unexpected sociological loophole. Nobody really knew what to do with this newfound discovery, so they decided to do nothing.
What?
Kyle continued to be theoretically everyone, and everybody else continued to be theoretically non-existent. It was a strange time to be alive.
What? Kyle was everybody. I unlocked a new background. Is there options? There we go. Unlocks. Ooh, we can unlock it. We have backgrounds. Wait, these are expansions, I guess? And there are unlocks. There are 31 endings in the interview? Wait, let's go back. Endings. Okay. There's 117 endings. There's 117 endings. Kyle can be other things too besides famous. And there's so many hot dog stand endings. And we still haven't even gotten through all of the interview issues. What? What? Do you want... You want this game, Abby? Alright, we gotta go back in.
Kyle woke up. He
Wow,
is
Pink is way...
famous.
is terrible. Alright, let's skip this bit. Okay. Let's wither away.
Kyle decided to state. Kyle.
Let's go exit the bedroom, check the locked door,
Kyle-
float in,
Kyle.
go in, get the laser claymore, check the supernatural
was-
artifact, smash it so we become the
ancient-
ghost lizard demon. Let's go back to the hallway. Let's leave the apartment. Haunt around! We didn't know we could do this.
Kyle felt a sudden pull on his heart. Had he abandoned his job as a ghost? Was he fulfilling his spooky, ethereal role that he'd accepted while lying in bed this morning?
I'm so So
Kyle realized
what?
he had no other choice. He must spend his day spooking about.
But I wanted to become a lizard demon at the interview.
Kyle decided he should make a plan about who or where he should spook.
Let's spook the interview.
Kyle thought that it would be best to continue his daily course, but with a twist. Today, he would still go to his studio, but instead of conducting an interview, he would haunt. Excitedly, Kyle made his way to the studio early to find the best spot to conduct his ghostly duties. The studio was empty. Being so early, the crew wouldn't arrive for several hours. Kyle gleefully skipped around the building, finding the best spot for himself to hide.
Okay, here's the question. I don't know if which game is disallowing me to make expectations and subverting them anyways more. Superliminal or this game. Because they're both doing something.
After searching for some time, Kyle decided to hide behind the guest chair.
Excuse me.
Kyle quickly placed himself down and drew his legs to his chest. Soon, the crew began to arrive and set up for the interview that night. Invisible to all senses, Kyle went undetected. He watched as cameras were set up, screens were turned on, and pages were flipped.
What is this game?
Within an hour, Rachel walked into the studio.
I'm scared
Hey,
about what I'm
everyone,
going to do.
Said Rachel, smiling kindly. I'm ready to get prepped. Who do I need to talk to first? Kyle's producer approached her.
Thanks for being here, Rachel. You should really talk to Andre about makeup first, and then wait for when Kyle arrives.
Kyle, knowing he was duping everyone, began to giggle uncontrollably. It was then that he, like clockwork, ceased to be a ghost.
We have no clothes on.
The studio grew silent. Everyone stared at Kyle, head down, clutching his legs and giggling at the floor. Kyle froze. He had found himself in a situation he had not encountered before. Kyle started to crawl out of the studio on all fours, hoping his small form would avoid attracting more attention.
But we're a lizard demon.
Everyone wordlessly watched as Kyle slowly made his way across the stage, through the production set, and out the door. As soon as he was outside the studio, Kyle broke into an all-out sprint. Kyle made his way back to his apartment as quickly as possible. Kyle sat in his kitchen and processed what had happened during his day.
Okay.
He vowed that he would never haunt anything again.
Okay, well that was a new one. What was that achievement? Kyle had many adventures around town. Okay. What does repeat do?
Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely.
Oh,
Kyle decided to...
It just actually just
now a
runs
ghost.
through it.
This
Okay.
does not relieve...
Let's skip to the end of the day.
Kyle walked into the small hallway that connected the...
What?
Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was... Kyle used his
Oh, no, we're
ghostly
still-
powers to walk straight...
Okay. Main menu.
Kyle woke up.
Okay. Kyle left. Yes. Alright. Let's think here for a second. Okay, no, I still want to be a lizard
Kyle
demon.
decided to... Kyle is...
I want to know what happens if I
Kyle walked over to the strange...
go
Kyle...
as a lizard demon.
This was what... Kyle...
Okay, Kyle turned into a lizard demon. Let's go back to the bedroom and see if there's an
Kyle
outfit.
decided to take...
We're just gonna put on a suit.
Kyle Mora...
Let's... Oh, wait, no. And let's go ahead and write some notes for the interview.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Whenever I was interviewing myself, is your mother a mother? Ruined the whole rest of it.
Kyle wrote
I don't
down
know
his
if,
second
if
question.
everyone is a job.
Kyle wrote down...
All right, let's just go
Kyle-
with the easy
Kyle-
questions just to see what happens. Wait, there's different stuff in the drawer. There's more stuff in the drawer. When did this happen? It probably does, but I'm a
Kyle
lizard
grabbed
demon.
the flashlight, but after jiggling the switch, he found it was out of batteries.
Assorted change. Okay, we were just getting here.
Kyle hurried to the set. Per normal, he ceased to be a ghost before he arrived.
But we're not naked.
Sitting across from his host chair, as Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up. Rachel's smile turned to horror as she realized she was looking not at a human, but a lizard demon.
Okay.
Pandemonium ensued. Scripts went flying, crew members ran in all directions, lights were knocked over. As Kyle watched the chaos around him, his lizard demon form enveloped his last shred of humanity. Kyle grew to a massive size. Within minutes, he had demolished the now empty set.
All right.
A local force of 5 spunky teenagers in brightly colored apparel arrived at the scene to
We're
fight Kyle.
fighting the Power Rangers. We're fighting the Power
As the teenagers
Rangers.
swung at him with their spunky, individualized weapons, Kyle pushed them over with his foot. Kyle's rampage of the studio ruins continued, but in another part of the city, a hero was rising up.
Oh, man.
In a dusty apartment on the top floor of an old skyscraper in the oldest part of town sat a large man named Frank.
Who's Frank?
Few people in the world knew that Frank existed. Fewer knew his name.
Frank was watching the local news. A story about the studio rampage was playing.
Quickly, Frank got up from his chair. He opened a small door hidden behind a poster on his wall. Inside was an unbelievable mound of fat-ridden foods, unrefrigerated and fairly rotten.
What is going on?
Frank began to consume the mound at a frightening rate. His body began to puff.
What is going on?
Frank expanded, faster and faster with each minute. He burst through the roof. Within minutes, Frank
It's a
was
kaiju
towering
battle.
behemoth.
It's a kaiju battle.
He rolled across the city, rebounding off of buildings and getting cheers from onlookers below.
But,
Approaching Kyle,
But-
Frank gave a long, painful heave upwards into the sky.
but,
To Kyle, the sky turned black. He looked upwards to see the monstrous figure hurtling towards him. And in a moment, Kyle was completely enveloped in rubbery fat, unable to move or make
I
noise.
don't, what?
Frank was quite tired and passed out where he lay. Several years went by as Frank slumbered. As Kyle was held in Frank's warm, fatty embrace, his humanity began to return. When the first winter came, Frank's body recycled his fat for resources. Over many months, he shrank in size.
This
Eventually,
game is
Kyle
too
was
big
human
brained.
and Frank was thinned. They both walked away from the scene as new men.
This
Neither realized how much time had passed.
game has thought too far. It's thought too far ahead. I don't know how to handle it. Okay. I want to see about... We're going to check the desk drawer. We're going to get some assorted change.
Kyle scooped.
Write some interview
Kyle-
notes. Just some basic ones.
Kyle.
Okay.
Kyle.
We're going to put on some clothes. We need to get the flashlight so we can choose better outfits.
Kyle decided to take some time.
Let's just put on the suit. Let's go to the store. Buy batteries with change.
Kyle counted out one.
Okay. Let's see if we can get... Okay. Let's sit at desk. This is going to be tight. Flashlight.
Kyle.
Insert batteries.
Kyle put.
Back to room. Open closet. Dang it. Not fast enough.
Kyle hurried to the set.
Okay. Abby, I think your
Sitting
caps lock is
across
stuck
from his
on.
host chair was a
Either
glamorous
that or you're
woman
an
with an
incipient
air of
rage beast.
genuinity.
One or the other.
Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to...
Okay.
Kyle responded.
We gotta scream and spin in circles. This has been too vanilla.
Kyle stretched his arms wide, tilted his neck upwards, and... was interrupted by his producer telling him and Rachel that it was time to start the show.
Insist.
Kyle shoved his producer out of the way, spread his arms wide, and began to scream loudly. He began to rotate slowly, screaming throughout, lightly brushing his hands against the faces of Rachel and his producer. After several minutes, Kyle was finished. He slowly put his hands to his sides and smiled. "I'm ready," said Kyle. Rachel blinked at Kyle, shrugged, and walked over to her seat.
Catch you later, Joe. I am definitely not getting through all of this here, but I might have to play. I might just play it on my own. But wow, what a game!
A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the... Good
All right.
evening.
Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May. who
We're gonna
needs
become
no-
Rachel again.
However, she...
All right.
In fact, said Kyle. Rachel looked at Kyle.
Here we wait.
Kyle
Wait.
stood up
We're
quickly
gonna hear
and
the
threw
voice
his
line
arm
again.
high.
I have never been, Kyle!
Okay.
Kyle read the first question on his list.
Are you a mother?
I'm glad you asked, said Kyle. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Or, yes, you are, said Kyle, trying to figure out who was talking to whom. Or, I am... In a fit, Kyle continued to re-answer his question, trying to come up with the correct phrasing. Rachel spoke up. Kyle, I'm not a mother at all, so it doesn't really matter.
Lies! Impossible! I don't believe it!
Kyle banged his fist on the chair. Kyle, I've never been in a position for that. I've really just focused on my career. All you need to do is ask. Rachel smiled sweetly. Kyle was silent for a moment. Then, realizing he had no idea what he was doing, he decided to let Rachel talk.
So what about your career? Do you enjoy what you do? How'd you get into it?
The two continued talking for the better part of an hour, Kyle asking questions and Rachel answering accordingly. Eventually, Kyle's producer signaled to Kyle that it was time to stop. The broadcast ended. The crew, Rachel and Kyle, said
Not
their
how I saw that
goodbyes
going
and
either.
returned home. But Kyle continued to think about Rachel after the interview ended. Something about Rachel had struck Kyle. He wasn't exactly sure what. But he did know that he was interested to hear that she was single.
Oh my. Kyle noticed Rachel. Okay. That's what I want to do too. But Abby, there's 100 and some endings. Okay. Let's exit the bed. All right, let's see here. You know what? We're going to go for sorted change.
Kyle scooped up.
And the flashlight at the same
Kyle
time.
grabbed the flashlight.
Flashlight's out of batteries. That's okay. Back to your room. We're not even going to put clothes on yet. We're just running to the store. Buy batteries.
Cut.
Put them in
Kyle-
the flashlight. Return to apartment. Bedroom. Closet. Inspect with
Kyle
flashlight.
shined his flashlight into his moist, cave-like closet that had not seen light in years.
Oh my.
After several minutes of searching around with the light, Kyle saw something unusual in the back. There was a pile of strange items, including a small metal box with a large red button stamped with travel time.
Travel time.
Kyle, bored of the situation, mashed the button, hardly reading the label above. The box hummed and shook. The outside metal grew hot and slowly curved in on itself. In a moment, it was early in the morning. Kyle had gained several hours of preparation time.
What? Open the closet. Choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to
What?
choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
All right. Jeans and swimming
Kyle-
goggles. Okay, we're going to sit at the desk. Write notes.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Am I a mother?
Kyle wrote down his second question.
Diet tips.
Kyle wrote down his...
Funniest story.
Kyle...
Are you guilty?
Kyle...
Okay. Exactly, Abby. Exactly. Exit bedroom to hallway. Moves to kitchen. Oh, wait. Open fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge.
Let's eat some condiments.
Ketchup, horseradish, and mayonnaise entered Kyle's mouth at a rate that soon overwhelmed his ability to swallow. Kyle spewed the excess condiment slurry across the kitchen, covering the furniture and walls. Kyle continued until all of the condiments had been emptied.
Okay. Let's go talk to our neighbor. See if we get any better
Kyle
options
approached
there.
his downstairs neighbor's door and knocked. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door.
Consume Gabby? Kyle is a cannibal? Now let's greet and start a conversation.
Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully. Gabby looked at Kyle expectantly. Gabby, Kyle asked, what are your true thoughts about Rachel May?
Oh, Rachel? Gabby said. She's a wonderful woman. Her generous acts have inspired more good work than bad.
Gabby trailed off, not meeting Kyle's eyes. After several uncomfortable minutes of silence, Kyle turned around and left.
Okay, I don't know what that does. Alright.
Sitting as Kyle
Kyle
responded.
We're going to
And I as well, Rachel.
start the broadcast,
Good evening.
introduce Rachel, become Rachel, and see...
I have never been, Kyle! He proclaimed.
I have
looked
never
and
been,
pointed
Kyle!
directly at the camera. I am here for but one reason.
Alright, I want to see how he answers this new...
Kyle read the first question. Well, he said, brightening. I'm glad you asked. Yes, I have produced many, many, many children. In fact, said Kyle, motioning to Rachel, one of my children is sitting here with me today.
Okay.
Rachel looked incredibly confused. After a moment, Kyle spoke again. I am your mother! He stood up again. Give me a big hug, daughter! After a moment more, Rachel shrugged, stood up, and gave Kyle a hug. The interview continued, Kyle talking about his supposed raising of Rachel and their times together. Rachel engaged in the interview with exuberance, answering questions as best she could and enjoying every moment. From this episode, Rachel's childhood and family became a debated topic in her fan base. When fans asked Rachel about the matter, she would giggle and make a joke about the interview. Scientists and fans began to dig deep, finding evidence both for and against the Kyle is Rachel's mother theory.
What?
But no matter how much anyone dug, nobody was able to come to a conclusion on the matter.
Just been a Kyle. You have never met... Okay, I need to get the I have never been Kyle as a clip sent to the group chat, which has a Kyle. Yeah, you should do that.
Kyle had created a public mystery.
Dun dun dun. Alright, let's look at... There's custom stories, too, that people make. What? Alright. Kyle became a lizard demon. Kyle was very quiet. He was his mother. Kyle noticed Rachel. Kyle was everyone. Kyle shifted the blame. Pretended to die. A good interview. Alright, I have a new plan.
Kyle woke.
Okay. Okay. We're going to browse social media. We're going to read through all the articles. Okay.
Kyle.
We're going to get out of bed. We're going to open the closet. Choose an outfit. Just put on a suit. It's fine. We're going to sit at the desk and write interview
Kyle
notes.
wrote down his first question.
Am I a mother?
Kyle wrote down his...
Ever eat a whole rotten
Kyle
egg?
wrote down his third question.
What's your funniest story?
Kyle...
Are you guilty? Back to desk. Back to room. Scavenge.
Kyle quickly crouched
For
down
resources?
on the floor,
That's
realizing
new.
his...
Gossip.
Kyle...
All right.
Well, what I will tell you is that every night...
There was
All right, we're gonna... Let's... Oh, no, don't have time to scavenge resources. That's okay.
Good evening,
Kyle responded.
We're gonna answer politely. Shake hands.
A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
We're gonna start the broadcast. Introduce Rachel.
Tonight, I have... Kyle motioned to Rachel. In response, Kyle collapsed on the floor.
Oh, no.
From a combination of stressful preparation and not eating anything, Kyle had passed out.
Oh, no.
Nobody in the studio quite knew what to do with him. They
wasn't
began to
expecting
poke
this.
Kyle in the back to see if he moved. After a while, they ended the broadcast, shut off the lights, and went home.
Oh no.
Kyle was left face first on the floor.
Well, that was a new ending. Kyle prepared by starving himself. Okay. New plan. Read the articles.
Rachel, who is the bug vigilante?
Get out of bed there. Open the closet. Choose an outfit. Put on a suit. Okay. Sit at desk. Write notes for interview.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Am I a mother?
Kyle wrote.
Diet tips.
Kyle wrote.
Funniest story.
Kyle wrote.
Are you guilty?
Kyle.
Back to desk. Back to room. Scavenge.
Kyle quickly
For
crouched.
gossip.
Kyle.
More. Done. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Do we have time to eat? Kitchen. Fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to.
Prepare breakfast.
Kyle construct.
Eat.
Kyle ate his breakfast.
We ate. Perfect.
Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across.
We get through this part.
A moment after seating.
We start the broadcast.
Goody.
Introduce Rachel.
Tonight, I have the pleasure.
We don't
Kyle
become
moved-
Rachel.
Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in.
Okay.
I'm very ready. Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier.
Let's start with some of the sillier questions.
Rachel, am I a mother?
Kyle looked at her very seriously. Rachel was visibly unsure of how to respond. Well, Kyle, I think you might be a better source of answering that question than I am. But do you think I'm a mother? Asked Kyle, pushing further. Rachel paused for a second before answering. I think you inspire youth to pursue STEM fields, she answered. Kyle asked another question.
Yeah, you've been involved in a lot of different things,
Said Kyle.
but what's your funniest story?
Well, that's a great question, Kyle, said Rachel. I think the story I always remember is the first time I tried to make dinner for my family. In the soup I made, I swapped out the water with milk and tipped the whole jar of salt in the pot.
Ew.
While my family was sick from trying to eat it, I swiped their things and locked myself in my room. Rachel laughed elegantly. Kyle decided to move on.
Good choice, Kyle.
Kyle asked another question.
Rachel, you manage to keep such a thin and healthy figure,
Said Kyle.
What is your best diet tip?
Well, a good diet starts with a plan, answered Rachel, and don't break it. Cheat days can turn into a habit. But, she continued, that doesn't mean a midnight snack here and there isn't allowed. She smiled. Kyle looked at his flabby self, decided not to comment, and moved on. Kyle asked another question.
Now, this is what I really wanted to know.
Rachel, are you guilty?
Kyle threw his questions on the floor, stood up, and pointed at her. Rachel's eye twitched slightly. Guilty of what, dear Kyle? She smiled disingenuously.
Guilty.
Spat Kyle.
Of your crimes!
Rachel did not answer. Her eyelids both started twitching uncontrollably.
We're gonna call the police.
Kyle whipped out his phone and started dialing the police.
Music change.
Kyle quickly realized that the broken phone he had gotten for free was not able to call anyone.
Damn.
Kyle looked sadly at his hand, realizing he had botched a wonderful opportunity to be helpful. Rachel looked at Kyle smiling. Her eyebrows twitched a bit. What's the problem, Kyle? Anything I can help you with? She glared, still smiling. Kyle looked up from his hand sadly. He slowly shook his head. The interview continued on. Rachel answered questions cheerily. Kyle forced a smile through the entire episode, but he felt very sad inside. Kyle had missed his chance to be helpful.
Kyle wasn't helpful. Rachel was endings? Kyle found out something peculiar about Rachel. Look at the endings again. I don't know how much more I have at the moment. But Kyle had no food. Kyle was a nudist. Shifted the blame, pretended to die. Okay, we get what's going on there. Around town. Kyle became bored. Kyle didn't hunt Rachel successfully. Kyle sold pretty good hot dogs. And so many more. Rachel was guilty endings. Kyle wasn't helpful. Okay. Can we get a better phone? I wonder...
Kyle woke up.
I wonder. So many things. Alright, you know what? Let's see what happens
now a ghost.
if we... Well, let's scavenge for resources.
Kyle began to comb through the damp piles of filth and mold on his floor in search of helpful items. After finding and eating a few bits of crumbs and old cheese, Kyle found something much more important. Indeed, it was the corpse of Harry, a friend that had gone missing years ago while at Kyle's house.
What?
Kyle was glad to see him again, but was unsure of whether to interrupt such an important day with Harry business.
Harry business, okay.
Kyle hoisted Harry onto his shoulder and took him outside. Kyle began dragging Harry's body down the street, drawing many, many stares. Kyle knew exactly where he needed to take Harry's corpse, on a lovely playdate, just the two of them.
What?
Kyle and Harry started at the arcade. Kyle used Harry's arms to operate the joysticks and push buttons. After 5 or 6 different games, the two friends had enough tickets for a single candy bar. They took their prize to the local park for eating. Kyle tried to
Bigo
feed
steal
some of the
phone's a
chocolate
good
bar to
idea.
Harry, but Harry seemed to not have an appetite.
But
After eating, Kyle noticed a nearby playground. He dragged Harry over.
what is this nonsense?
Kyle tried to figure out a way to swing Harry onto the swing set, but, lacking the ability to grip, Harry kept falling out. Instead, Kyle started to lug Harry to the top of the slide and shove him down time and time again. Finally, Kyle took Harry to the movies to see as many popular films as their pocket change allowed. Kyle quickly found that he had no pocket change, so he searched through Harry's
This
pockets
just keeps
until he found
going,
his wallet.
too.
Kyle bought 2 tickets to A Love Romance. After getting inside, Kyle left Harry to go find a restroom. By the time Kyle had finished using the restroom, he had forgotten that he brought Harry along. Kyle watched A Love Romance by himself. Harry's corpse sat on a bench in the atrium. While Kyle was in the movie, a beautiful thing happened. Harry's corpse, imbued with the power of friendship and love, was reanimated.
Zombie apocalypse.
Harry's old, rotten flesh gained color and life. His fingernails regrew. His missing eye came back. By the time the movie was over, Harry was able to greet Kyle with a large, friendly hug as his old self. Kyle was confused, but delighted to have his long-lost friend meet him on his way out of the theater. The two made plans to get drinks together and parted ways for the day. Kyle returned home, forgetting about the interview with Rachel.
What? Kyle helped a friend. What kind of thing was that? Kyle helped an old friend. That's in around town. Yes, he did, Abby. A flashlight tool. I wonder if we can do anything with that. Let's go back to the old background. Let's start.
Kyle woke.
Okay.
Kyle decided to
Let's
stay put.
wither away.
Kyle
Go check the locked door.
Kyle walked over-
Float through as a ghost.
Kyle.
Go inside. Check the supernatural
was one of the-
artifact and grab it.
Kyle stashed the mysterious.
Okay. Let's go back to the hallway. Let's back to the bedroom. Scavenge.
Kyle quickly
No.
crouched.
Back to open the closet. Choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to.
Put on some
Kyle-
clothes. Okay. Now, while we're still a ghost, let's leave the apartment. Is it the tech store? Nope, nothing special there. This is downstairs
Kyle
neighbor.
A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door.
Let's consume Gabby. See what happens.
Kyle unhinged his jaw and swallowed Gabby whole.
Okay.
Job done, Kyle returned to the middle of the street.
We ate Gabby. Let's hunt around.
Kyle felt a sudden...
But now let's not haunt the
Kyle
studio.
decided he should make a plan about who or where he should spook.
Let's spook Gabby.
Kyle believed that Gabby would be delighted. Kyle started to slowly creep to Gabby's door in a very spooky way.
I cannot. I tried.
He crouched by Gabby's door, cooing quietly and
Just a
waiting
nice,
for her to
like,
leave
effect.
so he could cause her a spook. It didn't take long. Soon,
But-
Gabby exited her
but
apartment
we
and
ate
started
Gabby.
walking toward... Kyle crept behind her, and Gabby opened the driver's side door and got in. She seemed to be leaving for some errands. Kyle was struck with a wonderful idea. Kyle started to run to the back of Gabby's car. Perhaps if he could catch her before she left, he could hide in the trunk. Kyle could make noises as she drove. He could follow her around on her errand, knocking over small objects nearby. Gabby put the car in reverse and floored the accelerator.
What?
Invisible to all senses, Kyle was crushed underneath the back tires of the car, creating a large boom. Gabby figured she'd hit the curb. She put the car into forward and floored the accelerator again.
What?
Kyle became locked in an endless loop of Gabby trying to move her car out of her parking space, being run over repeatedly. As the day started to wane and it drew closer to the time of Rachel's interview, Kyle ceased to be a ghost, per normal. Gabby neither noticed nor stopped.
Yeah, I do remember that, Abby.
Kyle was forced to conduct Rachel's interview while being run over.
How does...
Kyle's crew moved the filming set
What?
next to Gabby's
That's-
apartment.
Not what I expected.
Rachel appeared. Kyle asked her many questions. They shared several laughs. The interview was successful. The sound of Gabby flooring her car's accelerator drowned out large sections of the episode.
That just wasn't what I was expecting. Let's wither
Kyle
away.
Kyle,
We will... check the locked door,
Kyle-
float through,
Kyle-
go inside, get the supernatural artifact, grab the
Kyle's-
artifact, back to the room, back to the hallway, back to the bedroom. We are going to put on some clothes.
Kyle decided.
Slick suit.
Kyle-
Okay, back to the room. Going to exit to the hallway. Gonna leave the apartment. We are going to visit the downstairs
Kyle-
neighbor.
A middle-aged woman.
We're going to consume her.
Kyle,
Okay,
job.
back to the street. We're going to go to the tech store. I'm going to give a sample of the
This
free
phone.
review. Or a review of the free sample. And, okay.
Kyle hurried to the sitting.
Now,
As Kyle approached her,
we're
Rachel
going to
looked
throw
up
the
and
artifact
smiled.
at Rachel. Okay.
As she approached to shake his hand, Kyle produced the supernatural artifact and winged it at Rachel's face. Within moments of the artifact colliding with her head, Rachel started to turn into a lizard demon. Rachel began to cause destruction, tipping over her lights and causing crew members to scatter. Kyle, realizing the disaster he had caused, decided it was up to him to tame the monster.
So crew members at the monster.
Kyle started to grab nearby crew members and hurl them at Rachel. The crew members rebounded off of Rachel on all sides, causing little to no damage to her or themselves. In a lizard demon rage, Rachel rushed at Kyle and drove him into the opposite wall, face first. She began to pound Kyle's face into the wall repeatedly, littering it with head-sized holes. Kyle, having been in this situation before, felt he knew exactly what to do. Balling his fists, Kyle began to punch himself in the stomach repeatedly, causing loud gurgles and pops. Kyle's strategy did not help. He continued to be mashed into the wall. After a period of time, the artifact lodged in Rachel's face came loose and fell to the floor. Rachel immediately turned into her normal human self. The studio, now in shambles, flicked to life. The broadcast had started automatically.
so I can be like Frank? It's a possibility.
Kyle, unable to move properly, became aware that the eyes of many were upon him. Kyle tried to address the audience, but instead spewed some mixture of breakfast phlegm and chunks of plaster. Kyle's spewing video became a very hot meme. Online personalities used it to express distaste about social issues. Teenagers sent it to each other about homework amount. Rachel's broadcast was rescheduled for the following week. Fans complained about not being able to see Rachel's face as she wore protective headgear the entire time.
Rachel prepared by being a lizard. Alright. Does that... Oh, no. Not that. Does that open up a new set of endings? No, it's just in the interview endings. Well, we're getting through the interview endings. We can spook ourselves. That's what that is. Excuse me. These seem to be hot dog endings. Yeah, those are all hot dog endings. I think regular locks are... Yeah. And these are like spy endings. Okay. I want to try the lizard demon.
Kyle woke up.
Once again. Well, not us being
Kyle-
the lizard demon.
Kyle is now...
Okay, get out of bed anyway. We're going to go to the locked door, float through, go inside. Not just the supernatural
one of the-
artifact,
Kyle's...
but also the laser claymore. Okay. Now, we're going to go to the kitchen, check the pantry.
Kyle...
Oh, we have to get the key. Bedroom, sit at desk, check drawer, small key.
Kyle...
Back to desk. Back to room. And now, kitchen, pantry,
Kyle...
key,
The
pantry,
Instead of an assortment of...
grab lard.
Kyle grabbed a bottle...
Okay, back to kitchen. Turn the hallway. Alright.
Sitting as
And now
Kyle...
we throw the artifact.
Within...
Turns into a lizard demon.
Kyle, realizing the disaster he had caused,
Going to throw self.
Kyle launched himself at the monstrous Rachel. In a great collision of flesh, Kyle rammed face first into the monster's stomach. Kyle continued to launch himself into Rachel's stomach with wild abandon. After several dozen collisions, small, insignificant bones in Kyle's body began to fracture. Kyle continued. Rachel began to lose stamina from the incessant damage Kyle was inflicting upon her. Kyle continued his assault. Nobody present could tell what parts of his body were bruised and what weren't. Eventually, in one well-placed lunge, the artifact embedded in Rachel's face popped out. Immediately, Rachel turned back into her...
Okay.
Kyle, unable to move properly.
Oh, is this the
Kyle's
same?
online person...
Yeah.
Fans complained about...
Yeah. Okay, that was the same. Alright, let's reset to the interview.
Kyle hurried to the... As Kyle approached
let's
her,
not throw the artifact.
Rachel's smile quickly turned...
We're nudist
Kyle's-
again.
One by...
Whoops. Alright, main menu. Start.
Kyle woke up.
Okay. Let's think this through. Let's exit the bed. We are going to scavenge
Kyle quickly crouched down.
for bugs.
Kyle's... Soon, he
And
had
we're
a...
going to save for later use.
Kyle stashed the...
Back to the bedroom. Open the closet. Choose an outfit.
Kyle...
Slick
Kyle-
suit. Okay. Oh, wait, no. Let's go back to the bedroom. Scavenge
Kyle quickly crouched down.
for gossip.
Kyle...
Okay. We're going to listen to the gossip.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor.
Oh, no. We don't need to think. All right. Let's leave the apartment. Let's visit my downstairs
Kyle-
neighbor.
A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door.
Greet and start conversation.
Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully. Gabby looked at Kyle expectantly.
Ask Gabby about Gabby.
Gabby stiffened.
Sit around here.
Yes, I don't get around much. Never go out at night. I just stay here, right here.
Convinced by Gabby's statement, Kyle bid her goodbye and returned to the street.
Oh no. We're gonna pass out.
As good evening, Kyle responded. And I as
Okay.
a moment after seating,
But okay, here we
Good
go.
evening, everybody, said Kyle.
We have this. I want to see if there was anything else we could do.
Well,
No. Okay.
in the coming days,
Never mind.
stay up late with Kyle's online pages were updated.
Never
Kyle's
mind. Okay. Alright, we're I think we gotta change our jobs again.
Kyle
For a
thought
bit.
very carefully.
Gonna be a hot
Kyle
dog
laid
salesman.
in bed for a. Kyle.
Alright. We are going scavenge
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor.
for hot dogs.
Kyle started. He crawled around, spreading layers of mold to the side with his hands and picking out interesting items. Kyle couldn't find any hot dogs, but instead he found a pile of love letters he had written in high school.
Okay, wasn't expecting that.
Kyle pocketed the envelopes and got back to his feet.
Let's sit at the desk. And rewrite the love letters.
Kyle took out the letters from his pocket and set them on the desk. But after a moment, Kyle got up.
Let's sit at the desk. Check the drawers. Nope. Don't have any writing implements. Back to the room. Okay. Let's open the closet. Choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how
A slick suit.
Kyle miraculously cramped.
Okay. I should have gotten the... Anyway. Let's leave the apartment. Visit the downstairs neighbor.
Kyle, a middle-aged woman named Gabby,
Let's
and
scream and spin.
slowly, he tilted his neck upwards and let loose a long, passionate, and meaningful scream. As Kyle continued to spin, Gabby shut and locked her door, as she did every
Ooh.
time Kyle screamed outside her door.
Good idea, Abby.
Eventually, Kyle ran out of breath and fell over.
Let's visit the tech store. And talk about hot dogs.
Excited by his new job as a hot dog salesman, Kyle decided to share his happiness with the store clerk. As Kyle opened his mouth to speak, his stomach contracted violently. Kyle started spewing out undigested chunks of hot dog and stomach lining.
Why do we go from 1 to 1,000
The hot
every
dog Kyle
time?
had eaten earlier had multiplied in his stomach, causing a massive amount of hot dog pieces to grow inside of him. After a couple minutes of spewing, Kyle stopped. He looked at the attendant. "Oh, you know," said Kyle, rolling his eyes and smiling.
I don't know.
The attendant did not seem to want to respond, so Kyle decided to leave the tech store.
I don't know. Okay. How's this end?
Kyle made his way to the street corner. After a long day of preparation, Kyle felt very ready for his first outing as a hot dog salesman.
But I have no hot dogs.
Kyle started to unpack his things onto the corner of the street.
Let's unpack the love letters.
As Kyle was unpacking, his hand brushed the old love letters he had picked up earlier. He stopped. Something tugged at Kyle's heart. These letters were a piece of himself. These letters were a piece of history. Kyle realized it was time to give these letters to their original intended recipients.
Oh my.
Kyle looked at the top letter of the stack. It was addressed to Abigail, a girl Kyle had liked during high school. Abigail had moved to the other side of the city with her husband a few years ago, but Kyle was willing to make the trip.
No.
Kyle skipped away to Abigail's house, letter in hand.
We're wearing clothes. Okay.
It wasn't that Kyle liked Abigail anymore. It wasn't that he missed her. To Kyle, this was more important than that. After an hour of walking, Kyle finally reached Abigail's front door. With excitement in his heart, Kyle took a breath and knocked on the door. Abigail opened it. "Kyle," she said, smiling, "what are you doing here? It's been so long." "Abby," said Kyle, "I have something I want to read to you." Kyle took the letter to Abigail, clutched in his hands, and opened it for the first time in 14 years.
Oh no, what's going to be in there?
"Dear Abby," he read, "I feel funny when I look at you. Sometimes I think about you when I lie awake at night, but also sometimes not, but that's less often. I also talk about you constantly to everyone when you're not around, but it's not always good things.
Oh no.
Sometimes I also steal your lunches when you're not looking and keep them in a drawer at my house to look at when I'm bored.
Oh no.
I want you to promise
no.
me something. Kyle looked at Abby meaningfully. Promise you like me.
Oh no.
And if you do like me, please show me by shoving live fish down your throat as a sign of
What?
dedication. Abigail shut the door.
Kyle.
Kyle looked up from the letter and stopped reading. He looked at the door in front of him. He realized that Abigail probably had something to do, so he decided to leave her the letters to read later. Kyle pressed the letters against the door and pushed firmly. He took a nearby rock and drove it through the papers into the door so Abigail could not miss them.
What?
With evening dawning, Kyle went home, satisfied that he had finished an old chapter of his life. When Kyle got home, he realized that he loved writing letters to Abigail. He decided that he would continue to do so
no.
every day and make
Kyle,
her
why?
his pen pal.
Kyle, why?
Kyle fell asleep with a smile. It had been a good day.
Okay. This has been a good game. I am definitely going to play it more. I don't know if I'm going to stream it more. But holy crap. These people are insane and I love them. This is going to be it for me, though. We're going to end. Kyle got a pen pal. Yeah, this has been something. I'll let you know before I stream again. And next week, I'm planning on streaming some Sniper Elite 5, which is going to be fun because that's a plan your meticulous stealth plan and then scream and run away while it all collapses around you. So that'll be exciting. But until next time, good night and sweet dreams of Kyle